everything you have. Don't always, any day, 'cause heaven can wait another day. Heaven can wait, heaven can wait, heaven can wait, heaven can wait another day. Heaven can wait, heaven can wait, heaven can wait, heaven can wait another day. Heaven can wait, 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 heaven can wait another day, another day. Heaven can wait another day.
KUAMSM Hagåtña, Guam. You're listening to The Link with Chris and Sabrina on Breeze 93.9.
I can't count the times I almost said what's on my mind, but I didn't. Just the other day, I wrote down all the things I'd say, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. Maybe I know that you've been wondering, oh yeah, oh, so here goes nothing. In case you didn't know, maybe I'm crazy about you, and I would be lying if I said that I can't live my life without you. 'Cause if no, I don't tell you all the time. You had my heart a long, long time ago. In case you didn't know, case you didn't know, baby, I'm crazy about you. And I won't be lying if I said that I can't live my life without you. 'Cause even though, I don't tell you all the time, you had my heart a long, long time ago. In case you didn't know, so baby, I'm crazy about you. And I won't be lying if I said that I can't live my life without you. 'Cause even though I don't tell you all the time, you had my heart a long, long time ago. Since you had my heart a long, long time ago. You had my heart a long, long time ago. In case you didn't.
The Link, here on Breeze 93.9 FM.
Hallo zengin tisinya zumoski Pasana nailokwi pasna namo Lokoni haifa maguon Zen hasu ifinohu Zen umana hawesta Pintalu Haneni hai Haneni ai Haneni ai Haneni ai Haneni ai Sa usanga ni hao na preciso Haneni nailokwi Tohu Lo ahiti paraguahu Lo parei famagonhu Zang kuntodu nai hagu Saguahu Haneni hai Haneni ai Haneni ai Haneni ai Hallo zengin tisinya zumoski Pasana nailokwi pasna namo Loha hasuha asagwahu Na haguzu domingo Zanumana hawesta Tintalu Haneni ai Haneni ai Haneni ai Haneni ai Haneni ai Haneni ai
The Link. Join the conversation now with Chris and Sabrina. Call 637-0094. Breeze 93.9 FM.
Sinya uli di sombranzelten meg. Et zu ide te saluda antes de nega. Radzaudzan malak estrezas durante todo el memu. A nogi distancia como cupo palu. Zangiman malak guafi ikonum nasugi airi prebatu la noci nai banderata gaigi pues atan fanny bandera kau esta pagua pumalapa gilo tanu man libri sentami ti man ko badi.
Chamoru Puritanoza Kantai Matsuno Nyagi Toru Iluga Paraiona Parai Gloria A big is the same Senpai.
can put your trust in me. Just say the word, what it is that got you bugging. I'll be there whenever you are stressing. And when I do get close to you, all of your friends ain't got no clue. I just can't wait to be with you. I promise I'll make everything so easy. Boy, I'll be faithful. Promise not to hurt your heart. Swear I'm not able. I loved you from the very start. My love's on the table. Take it how you want it, boy. Yeah. Take it how you want it. Boy, I'll be faithful. I promise not to hurt your heart. Swear I'm not able. I loved you from the very start. My love's on the table. Take it how you want it, boy. Yeah. Take it how you want it, boy. Boy, I'm all yours. Do it how you wanna. Put me on your shoulders. Got me a soldier. Here's the plan. Stay forever in my heart. Always by your side till death do us apart. Don't worry, boy. Don't worry about a thing. You can put your trust in me. Say the word, what it is that got you bugging. I'll be there whenever you are stressing. And when I do, close to you, all of your friends ain't got no clue. I just can't wait to be with you. I promise I'll make everything so easy. Boy, I'll be faithful. Promise not to hurt your heart. Swear I'm not able. I loved you from the very start. My love's on the table. Take it how you want it, boy. Yeah. Take it how you want it. Boy, I'll be faithful. I promise not to hurt your heart. Swear I'm not able. I loved you from the very start. My love's on the table. Take it how you want it, boy. Yeah. Take it how you want it, boy. Take it how you want it. How you like it. When you need it. Yeah. Take it how you want it. How you like it. When you need it. Take it how you want it. How you like it. When you need it. Take it how you want it. How you like it. When you need it. Take it how you want it. How you like it. When you need it. Oh. Take it how you want it. How you want it. Take it how you want it.
Good morning, Guam. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Morning, at Ken Sanity. Good morning. Right on. Good morning, Joe, sir, with the Harman cam, the Hutman cam. How's it looking out there, sir? Beautiful day. Yep. Why is a beautiful day got to be on a Monday? Where were you yesterday? Beautiful day. Hey,
It was a beautiful day yesterday.
Was it? Yeah. Well, it was a weekend, so by default, it's going to be good. It's like pizza. Hey, good morning, Bree. 6:22. It's Monday, May 24th, 2021. Sabrina Salas Matanani. My name is Chris at Ken Sanity. In for the. Is he having a vacation, or have you talked to him?
I have not.
No way.
I just don't want to bother him.
Is he okay?
Yeah, I'm sure he's okay. You know, Jason's in his own little world, enjoying and making. We should check and see if he made any videos.
On his what's his preferred? He's like a TikToker, right?
He said I don't know, because I thought he said he was going to make YouTube videos of him playing guitar or something.
Yeah, so Jason's you know, when you go on leave, usually I'm like, let me do one thing. If I'm going to do one thing when I'm on leave, and his one thing was he wanted to do 80s heavy metal guitar lessons on YouTube. Yeah. That's lofty.
You like what you like, you know?
Yep. Well, no, there's some 80s heavy metal, dude, that's just good, you know. Of course, there's a lot that just isn't. But yeah, with the visual I get with Jason Bree when I think about him on vacation.
Here we go.
I mean, there's some parts I won't talk about. But I just imagine him with his beard, looking like Wolfman Jack, eating a tub of Ben & Jerry's ice cream in his underwear, sitting on the couch. Right? Watching Red Shoe Diaries. Well, wherever you are, Jason, I hope you're doing okay. That's so weird that he hasn't. I mean, is he all right, though, Bree? Because usually he reaches out to you.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine.
You sure?
Fine.
We should check on him, man.
He's good.
Let's do a wellness check. That shouldn't be funny, but it is. All right. It's 6:23. Hey, you know our show is sponsored? That's right. People like this. Thank you guys for liking it. IT&E, thank you. East West Rental, thank you, East West Rental. Talbot Enterprises, Sidus Mossy. Pacific Points, yep, making points over there at gas up at any Shell Foodies, get you some points. And Jack in the Box, yes, Jack in the Box with the cheddar. How were those, Bree?
It was so good, you know, and I really like biscuits.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite delicious. So
We had it on Friday. Sabrina brought it back for us. Which one did you have?
I just ordered a plain one with just the biscuit with an egg.
No bacon, no sausage?
No, just plain.
Oh, Sans meat. Is it Sans, Ken, or SANS?
Sam's, right?
Without meat. That's much easier. Hey, what's up, Facebook Live? Whoa, we got someone from Kentucky here. Mama Bear, you're not alone. Yeah, see, Frankie Ciro writes in here. Is our audio okay? Ken, what can you give these people some advice on the audio?
Oh, just turn it up, the volume. Yeah, turn it up.
Yeah.
But if it's kind of low, we'll check it on our end.
Yeah, we're good on our end. All of our levels are good. Right.
Level
okay.
check, level check. Yeah,
Level
we're
check.
good,
Yeah,
we're
turn
good.
it up on the side. Sometimes you turn it down at night when you're watching. Who knows what you're watching at night? But turn it back up. Turn it up, link up. Coming up on the show, that's one thing I miss about Jason is our nice little printouts that we had.
Do you want printouts, guys? I can print out stuff for
How
you.
did you, if you want, was it a saved paper kind of thing, or is it just?
I'm a digital guy.
I have it
don't go in
digitally
green.
here. Well, for starters, I mean, not to start the show, but we are going to do work week weather with our friend Landon Idolette from the National Weather Service. That's something I look forward to every Monday morning, Bree, and it's all brought to you by Docomo Pacific. What do you think the weather's going to be like this week?
Partly cloudy skies and isolated showers.
Okay. Landon, we're done here. We're good. There's a little bit of rain yesterday, right? So it was rain this morning. I actually got caught in the rain. Yep. Pray for me. So that's coming up also. Hold on, let me look at this here.
Mayor's Council.
Yes, wow. Mayor Jesse Alec, who's the president of the Mayor's Council of Guam, is bringing on a couple of his colleagues. He's bringing on Mayor Jesse Gogui of Orda Chalampago and Mayor Vicente Taitagui of Talafolfu. And I think Mayor Gogui is going to talk about Bill 136.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't. Thanks for letting me know.
I don't know. I just saw it now. So we're going to Google that and find out. Okay. But Mayor Taitagui is going to be talking about some cool stuff too that I can't find in my chat. But it's going to be awesome. It's always good to catch up with the mayors. I love the mayors, Bree.
I do too.
Those are like some of the people that we really got close to
Mm-hmm.
during this pandemic, right? Yeah, they're coming on, and then we're getting Mary Rhodes is coming on from the Guam Hotel Restaurant Association. The chief of police, Steve Ignacio, is coming on this morning. Yeah, a lot of people coming on, guys. This is where the party's at Monday. Okay, we're gonna.
Carlotta still coming on?
Carlotta's coming on. That's who I forgot. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Carlotta is coming on, and it's relative to this rapidly evolving situation, Bree, with the Afghan refugees.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know about it.
Okay, so there's this there's this waiver program.
Thanks, Bree.
So the president, you know, he wants the troops to withdraw from Afghanistan by
Correct.
September 9/11, and so between now and then, they've got to start moving out these Afghan refugees that worked as translators that helped the U.S. government because if they don't, there's fear that they're going to receive retaliation from the Taliban.
Right.
And so they've got to get them out of Afghanistan like as soon as possible. And there's like thousands. And so there was this
okay.
program.
How many thousands? Is it really like 70,000 or something?
There's a lot. I
It
don't
can't
know
be
the
seven.
exact number. But there, there was a program way back when
Yes.
that established that special immigrant visa, and only so many were processed. And so they're like, you need to expedite this. And so one of the ways they can do this is through, well, why don't you bring them through a U.S. territory? And so it's not like we've never done this before. So I think it's No One Left Behind, this organization in the States that kind of pointed it out in a article on Defense One. And so we ran a story on this on Friday.
Right. Yeah. So apparently, I heard they're coming here, and this is it's a lot like what they did in the 70s after the Vietnam War.
And they also did it during Operation Pacific Haven.
The Kurds.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So there you
Where
go.
we're going to put them, though, is interesting to find out, because I remember during Operation Pacific Haven, when the Kurdish evacuees came through here, they set up Andy South, because they had the dorms and the houses over there. And so that's where you put these thousands and thousands of Kurdish evacuees. Where now? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We do have some hotels, right?
We do. Yep. There. Problem solved. I guess we're keeping the quarantine in the ISO. Right.
I don't know. Well, we could ask Mary, see if she's been contacted.
Contacted. Right. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting because I'm not really clear on the number. Of course, we'll get Carlotta, and she is the governor's chief advisor on military and I think regional affairs. Yeah. So she's coming on. Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting.
It's
Pretty
gonna be
interesting.
huge.
It's going to be huge, but then there's also concerns about like COVID. Like, are they vaccinated? Are they coming in? Where are they going? You're right. It's a lot. It's so much. So that's coming up, and then all the other stuff that we do here on the show, like Cover Me, brought to you by Burger King and Docomo. That's going to be awesome. It's 6:30, Monday, May 24th on the link. Good morning to our Facebook Live viewers. Again, we have Ken Ciro, who is Frankie Ciro, who is watching from Lebanon, Kentucky, Marion County. Thelma Alfonso, good morning to my favorite morning team. Well, good morning to you, too. Who else we got on the Facebook Live, Bree?
I'm just pulling it up now. Sorry.
Okay. Rosemary LaGuardia, first one in. Good morning, team.
Angel and Pete Quintanilla Castro, good morning, Familia, KUAM News, Manana Sizus, all have a good day and be safe.
Teresa Elizabeth Uganapati, good morning, Guam. Mama Bear Debbie Davis. We got your box, Mama Bear.
Thank you. We haven't opened it yet.
No, we're going to do a whole unboxing video. Those are cool. Rudy Rodolfo Jr., good morning and half a day. Mr. Rudy, I actually saw him out in Tamuning. Sorry, Rudy, and my brain did not register until after I got in the truck. So yeah, thank you. Burger King, up early. Rudy's probably up early grilling us up some Whoppers. Ooh, Whopper for breakfast. Mama Bear Debbie Davis, again, good morning. Ben Lujan Duenas, hi. Ken Paulino, good morning, be safe. Joaquin Lepe Barcinas, all the Lepes, good morning from Texas. Roberto Fracassini, bonjour, Guam. Josie Akfaji, Hafaday to all the beautiful people of Guam from California. George A. Cruz Jr., Hafaday, good morning from Chalampago. Patricia Ann Atalik, Buenas and Biba Lunes. Biba Lunes! Emma Olalia, good morning and a thumbs up. Bev Test, Jay Solis, half a day familiar KUAM from today's road. Yeah, we're having your mayor on today. What else we got here? Yeah, that's it. So come on over to the Facebook Live. Remember, 8 o'clock we go on to KUAM TV. Let's get into the news now. Clocked in? You guys clocked in? Right on. Let's go. From the KUAM news team with the very latest, Sabrina Salas Mazzanotti. Good morning, Sabrina.
Off it, everybody. Since a Friday night, Guam has recorded 10 new COVID positive cases out of 792 tests. Guam's current COVID case count is now 8,134 officially reported cases, With 139 deaths, 101 cases are active, and there have been more than 7,800 recoveries. A total of 9 people are hospitalized, 1 in ICU, 1 on a ventilator. The CAR score is 0.8. Additionally, a total of 76,509 individuals are fully vaccinated on Guam. Guam, in the meantime, received another shipment of Moderna vaccines. A total of 10,500 doses were received in good condition as part of Guam's May allocation. And with more news and information about ARP, here's Isaiah Uggan.
Hafide, good morning, everyone. Guahusi Isaiah Uggan with your headlines here on The Link. The governor finally has her money. On Friday, Adelupa announced it has received some $553 million in American Rescue Plan funds from the U.S. Treasury and expects another $51 million in capital improvement project funds, which will bring the total to $604 million. Here's more.
The money is part of the $4.5 billion in coronavirus state fiscal recovery funds appropriated to the territories under the ARP. Governor Leon Guerrero issued a news release saying, "Soon we will be unveiling an investment roadmap that benefits everyone and rebuilds a stronger Guam." Details of her spending plan, though, were not released. The governor adds that they continue to examine the interim guidance released last week by the Treasury, which they believe will likely change. In the meantime, Adelupa says it is assessing local aid programs to build upon. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio said Guam's improved fiscal outlook now provides us with a stable foundation onto which we can rebuild a thriving economy. Adelupa said more information will be announced next week. Shortly after the announcement, Speaker Therese Terlahi released a letter to the governor calling on her to, quote, immediately prepare to distribute the RISE Act checks. These are individual $800 local pandemic relief payments for taxpayers making $40,000 or less. Terlahi notes that the governor has said publicly that she wants to expand the program, but the speaker says it's not necessary to withhold the amount from those in need while trying to figure out the spending plan for the rest of the $553 million. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
An online article published on Defense One suggests that Guam could potentially be host to Afghan allies. The Biden administration has announced U.S. troops withdrawal by September 11th, but according to the article, the administration did not address how they plan to help our allies, such as translators who face threats by the Taliban. The Afghan Allies Act of 2009 authorized a special immigrant visa program, which would allow Afghans who helped U.S. troops bring their families to America. Between now and September, the clock is ticking to assist these individuals under the SIV program. The article suggests that it's time for U.S. officials to airlift these Afghans and their families to an American territory to keep them safe. The issue was brought up during a recent House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing. Florida Representative Brian Mast.
Ms. Freeman, Ambassador, you've heard it from almost everybody on both sides, the concern for those that have worked with the U.S. over the course of these years. I think to put it very bluntly, none of us want to see one of those individuals that have worked with us have their head cut off on the internet, and that's a real threat. That's not hyperbolic.
You may recall it was in 1996 when Andersen Air Force Base was host to Operation Pacific Haven. At the time, hundreds of Kurds from northern Iraq were evacuated in fear of reprisal from Saddam Hussein for aiding the U.S. government. The University of Guam is rolling out a new model of learning called HiFlex that will allow students the option to pick and choose when they like to be on campus or online. Here's more.
The University of Guam will use their summer session as an opportunity to pilot their new protocols.
We're really excited to have students back on the campus.
The campus hasn't seen the hustle and bustle of students since last spring, but UOG Director of Integrated Marketing Communications, Jonas Macapinlac, explains how that's changing come the FNACPO summer classes.
Sessions A, B, and C, there will be classes available in person, face-to-face. And that'll give us a chance to make sure that our protocols that we have in place are working and give us a chance to make adjustments before more students come in the fall.
Students have the learning options of face-to-face, online, hybrid, and a new format called HiFlex.
A HiFlex option gives students a choice on whether they want to attend class in person on a particular day, or online on a particular date.
However, not all classes will have the HiFlex option, but Macapinlex says that many will. If students are interested in the HiFlex format, they're advised to check their course schedule. Macapinlex adds that UOG has had their social distancing protocols since last fall, but putting everything into action was put at a halt due to the second lockdown.
We were getting ready to come back to class here, so we have our social distancing guidelines, sanitation guidelines.
All of which are available for viewing on the UOG website under the continuation of operations plans.
They're being updated right now because of the face-to-face the new face-to-face guidelines that we're instituting, and so they'll be updated for the fall.
In-person classes are currently spaced out 6 feet apart and sanitized in between class periods. Additionally, students will be asked to provide either proof of COVID-19 vaccination or a weekly COVID-19 test yielding a negative result.
The protocols for that still being established, and by the fall we should have things pretty well in hand.
A recent survey conducted by the university revealed 82% of students claimed to be vaccinated, while employees had a 10% higher rate. Macapinlex says they're in communication with public health about reducing the social distancing down to 3 feet. But until then, the 6-foot protocol remains. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
That's the news for now. We'll see you all at 6 tonight on Primetime.
Get ready for a likely increase to your power bill. GPA says rising global fuel prices mean there's a need to adjust the fuel surcharge known as the LEAC. The power company has tried to hold rates down during the pandemic, but it can do so no longer. Nestor Lecanto reports.
In a presentation Thursday before the CCU, GPA General Manager John Benavente said the fuel cost under recovery has ballooned to about $30 million, and he laid out a range of scenarios for the CCU to consider. Based on the average monthly 1,000 kilowatt residential consumption, Benavente said if they don't attempt any recovery, the fuel increase alone means the average bill rises from $204 to $249. If GPA opts for 50% recovery in the next 6-month LEAC cycle, the bill will increase to $274. And if GPA goes for full recovery, the bill will go to $299. CCU Chairman Joey Duenas.
At the end of this period, you expect an under recovery of around $30 million.
Correct.
And if you're going to recover that and pay for the fuel over the next 6 months, you need to raise it by 20.4 cents.
That's raise it to 20.4.
To 20.4.
Yes.
From
correct.
the current 11 cents.
Benavente adds that because of fuel price uncertainty, they need to consider recovery now.
What scares me is that it continues to rise, and although they projected it's going to straighten up, well, Morgan Stanley said that also previously. So what I'm concerned is that at least if we're above our cost, and so that's why I was leaning more towards the 16 cents. What you're looking at is a $45 to $57 increase on an average residential customer. I think my recommendation would be right in that range.
The CCU will meet on Thursday to approve the recommendation. It would still need to go to the Public Utilities Commission for final approval. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
That's correct, and if I can get more. That's correct, and if I can get.
The Department of Revenue and Taxation has processed and will be mailing checks or paying via direct deposit 2,495 tax refunds totaling almost $7 million. These include refunds that were garnished to repay GovGuam debts and are for error-free returns filed on or before February 26th of this year. Revenue Tax adds to check the status of your income tax refund. Log into your individual account at www.myguamtax.com and use the lookup status of 1040 refunds tool. When it's time for them to appear before the legislature, the local Veterans Affairs Office will be fighting for a budget request that the director maintains is long overdue.
According to Guam Veterans Affairs Director Tim Uggan, for the past decade, his agency has been operating with an annual budget of less than $700,000 to work on behalf of more than 20,000 local veterans.
I don't know what you expect to deliver when you give an agency that type of money to operate.
For next fiscal year, they plan to fight for more, way more, $9 million to be exact.
So our request, you always want to shoot for the stars and hope for the clouds.
Uggan says at least $6 million of that will be dedicated to capital improvement projects that aren't covered under grant stipulations and requirements, such as building a new one-stop center for veterans, expand the cemetery, and erect monuments. The local VA is also looking to hire an individual that would serve as a medical referral officer that would be a liaison with CBOC, Tripler, and other medical facilities.
This is something that would greatly impact our services to the veterans, help them along the way to recovery and getting themselves in good health for the rest of their years.
Uggan adds the budget also includes funding to hire more veteran service officers. Currently they have 4, but he's hoping to increase it to 10. Aside from upcoming budget talks, the director is looking forward to modernizing the agency.
This agency also has been in the Stone Age in regards to case management and records management. Right. So what we've developed here is a brand new records management program, which we're waiting for the software and infrastructure to get put in place here so that we can go digital on all our records.
Uggan says they've been working with the Utah Office of Veterans Affairs, which has volunteered to help them with this process. A formal agreement is expected to be signed any day now.
And with your news now in tomorrow, here is Ken Conception.
Buenas updates to get some to be sa morgan ni KUAM News. Presenta ni Familian Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank. Ma-report ni Joint Information Center gi isablo na uno na empleado ni Tamuning Elementary na eskwela sa positibo test niya para coronavirus. I Departamento de Edukasyon dan i Departamento de Salud Publiko sa matutuo ni contact tracing para ma-identifika at para man-notifika at siya manihod gi adyo na empleado. Después ufan ma-quarantina pat man ma-isolate adyo siya asa kiman siguri public health na malika todo. Ilugat siya into eskwela sa manafan gasgas sa man ma-disinfect. Ma-continue at ma-konsigi eskwela imababa niya ni duputsi. Yotro sunto po di pesti COVID-19 drive-thru na tines ng binakuna na klinik siya sa paremamela na Merkules gi 26 gi Marzo ang kada Merkules hasta ki 16 gi Hunyo gi Metcon Lancero gi Talan Marine Drive gi sa dededo desde las 9 gi egan hasta las 12 gi Taluani. Ites siya sa paromatsogi ni Departamento ng Salud Publiko sa Servisyon Sosyal. Siyempre para minaneha este sa Guam National Guard para mates ang para mabakuna o nesesita litrato na sedulas. Dirisoto ni tes sa sampi manai alguihi. Taza ay parofan mates sa parofan paseho hutanggi isla guihi. Losina on schedule as na serbisyo kumuun agang i Public Health Northern Region Community Center gi 635 pat 6. Gimas, taza pa mabakuna ni Adzi Amod kontra i coronavirus gi Department of Youth Affairs. Guahagwi na lugar 13 na menor de edad da todo mang kwalifika parofan mabakuna. Lo uno ha guihi malago kumamanay permiso ni manaynanya. Gi Webes makonfirma ni DYA na Departamento de Salud Publiko para mabakuna gi Jim Guihi gi Ibetnes at zima apreba ni Center for Disease Control na amod Pfizer. I spokesman para DYA si Daniel Camacho ilingan na 4 gi 13 na manay na ni menor edad man mahago. Gi 4 unwa ang mapreba para mabakuna ipatgon niya. I Departamento sa man requesta suplikan amod bakuna para manalisto ni enfermera Guihi sa zanggin maresibe Mars talo na manay na ni man manay autoridad para ST. Ginikoti, ma-file kaso na nabusang patgon dyan din nasquido gi District Court kontra ang ginimestron substitute gi George Washington High School dyan ay gobernament tungguhan por insidente ni masusedi maski 20 anos na tempo tati. Iman susu sa 37 anos na edad no ma-identifika na SC para pernite sa atake si Benjamin Leon Guerrero II na minalesta dyan ni nabusagwi ani menor edad niya ani muskakalay guihi. Si Leon Guerrero sa coach para iwagon bola guihin na tempo. Segundo yung dokumento ni Corte, gimit 998 na sakan anay desgrado ipadgon. Itutuhon niya ng grasya nulusuto mo sa nabusong bus ni si SC as Leon Guerrero gifinak po wagon bola. Sa pudi na taka dyan ni nabusa timo eskwela ibigta magisaganti dia at isfere gilusuto mo para otro na eskwela. Para todo matsagwan niya, manggagagoy biktima 2,000,000 pesos para maapasig ginanadya at satsakisiha. Yuto mo, Tiyos na kumpanyan otro banda na lugar siya Fereki Guam sa premio a kontratan militar para Exhibition Culture Resource Management. Gwinigit sa Guahan, Hawaii, sa Ninote Marianas na isla siya, i Garcia Associates ganing California na kumpanya, i International Archaeological LLC ganing Hawaii, dan i Pacific Consulting Services ganing Hawaii Lokwi. Sa mamanayas tayo Marzo 2026 na sakan para manapanadan ni Tetsunia. Ia kontrata siya sa total 49 milyon pesos. Sa 70% gi todo Tetsunia sa para matsogi gwinigit sa Guahan. Para Guam News Network, Guausikin Conception. Yasunto ifinut sa moro sa presenta sa ninafatto ni Familia Mizugi First Hawaiian Bank.
June makes the best malasadas in Hawaii, a fact not lost on Daryl, whose brother Byron is cooking the onaga he caught at his secret fishing spot with his girlfriend Malia, who used to work for the Shave Ice Guy, whose second cousin Vince drives the school bus ridden by Calais, whose auntie makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. Everything here is connected, and with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances, and it all starts with yes.
Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook. KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link.
As May is a month to celebrate mothers and everything they do, let's not forget that many parents in our community are struggling to make ends meet and provide for their children with basic necessities. The KUAM Care Force is partnering with the Salvation Army for a very special drive this May, benefiting our precious and most vulnerable in our community. Through Friday, May 28th, we'll be collecting diapers, formula, infant toiletries, baby food, and other new items for infants and toddlers at our KUAM studios in Harmon on weekdays between noon and 4 p.m. Show you care and help families in need this spring. Due to the consideration of our current public health emergency, donations will not be accepted outside of hours specified. Curbside acceptance of donations is acceptable by calling 637-5826 upon arrival.
Steel Athletics has joined the KUAM Care Force as a community partner in the Mama and Nenny's Drive. You may also drop donations to their location in Timony on any day of the week. See KUAM.com for designated times.
I decided to get vaccinated because just thinking about all the lives lost from COVID and everyone on island that contracted the illness, I realized that I need to do my part, not just to protect myself, but our community. And I also realized we're still not out of the woods with variants that are out there. I want to be safe, and I want to keep my family safe. I'm Tyler Matinani, and I'm a proud member of the vaccination.
Join the vaccination. Scan and plan. For more information, go to KUAM.com.
Addis Trust and Investment, location, service, trust, is a proud partner of the KUAM Care Force.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Help us celebrate the class of 2021. KUAM wants to help you celebrate this touchstone moment in the lives of your graduates. For the months of May and June, we will flood the social media pages of KUAM with photos and well wishes for the class of 2021 grads. Log on to KUAM.com to submit photos and brief messages or captions. Then look for your special grad on KUAM Instagram and the Facebook pages from all of your friends here at KUAM. Congratulations, seniors!
Ekangok ega zan edza kifinut samoro giasuntun samoro kada dia gi KUAM News. Gatsa gi idan link na programa gi las 8 gi egan gi esla samoro streaming radio peri KUAM News YouTube na channel para linabian fasilidad mizu. Malata fanita para mas información mentres sa diligencia y sen preciosa na kulturata entri sesultana setbi kada dia y lengguahe natibo ni Itzamoro. Y asunto gi finut samoro sa ni napafatu zan penalinunudzi ni familia mizu gi First Hawaiian Bank.
KUAM Communications and Denny's Guam presents Mamapreneurs, a special multi-platform series throughout the month of May showcasing mothers who are also local entrepreneurs in our community. In commemoration of Mother's Day, during weekdays in May, we'll feature daily profiles of these multitasking mamas and their businesses. Additionally, on KUAM News Primetime every Monday in May, we'll showcase a different enterprising mamapreneur. Check out our online directory of all these businesses as well on KUAM.com. And if you know a mamapreneur we should feature, send us a message on social media or email executiveproducer@KUAM.com. Mamapreneurs is brought to you by Denny's. Guam's Diner is always open.
The world of television is more exciting than ever. Don't miss a minute of special presentations from NBC on KUAM TV8 or from CBS on KUAM TV11. Every month, we'll bring you the fun and excitement of award shows and red carpet moments, special series presentations, and other great network programs. Brought to you locally by King's Restaurant, Ruby Tuesday Guam, Bud Light Seltzer, and Docomo Pacific, giving you more reasons to tune in and turn on. Fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
Catch SportsLink on the KUAM News Morning Show, The Link, every Friday to hear about the latest in sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. SportsLink, brought to you each week by Cure Alkaline Water, airs every Friday across the multimedia platforms of KUAM. Tune into the broadcast on Breeze 93.9 FM on KUAM TV 11, live streaming through the KUAM News Facebook page, or view highlights on YouTube, KUAM News Facebook, and Instagram. SportsLink is hosted by Dave Delgado through KUAM Sports, and he will make sure that everyone knows what is happening on the field, in the gyms, and everywhere in between.
After a year with so many games and events delayed or unplayed, the world is ready for anything and everything in the world of sports. KUAM Communications is ready with more games, more championships, and more specials that are guaranteed to bring out the fan in you. Don't miss a minute of gameplay from NBC on KUAM TV8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the action and excitement. Brought to you locally by Michelob Ultra, Superior Light Beer, and Docomo Pacific. Just more great reasons to tune in and turn on so you'll fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
6:59. Anthony Garcia, hey, we're KUAM FM, Agani Guam, The Breeze, 93.9 on the link. Proudly brought to you by IT&E. East West Rental, whoa! Cabo Enterprises, yeah! Jack in the Box, Pacific Point, good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Let's head into the KUAM News Zoom Room, shall we, on a Monday. Next interview, Carlotta Leon Guerrero is the governor's chief advisor on military and regional affairs, and she's coming on because there's been discussions that I believe started, well, at least publicly revealed last week, about Guam holding a bunch of refugees from Afghanistan. Now, these are possibly, right? These are Afghanis who aided U.S. forces in a variety of things, whether as interpreters or support, right? Civilian support for operations that the U.S. military did in Afghanistan. And so that was the talk. We don't know how many are possibly coming, but so we're just getting Carlotta on to kind of hopefully shed a little light on this. Good morning, Carlotta.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Sabrina, and good morning, Guam.
Good morning.
Good morning, Guam. So what's cracking on this Afghan refugee thing? Everyone's talking about it this weekend.
Well, the first thing that I would say is, just to give a little background on it, is that the U.S. forces are being pulled out of Afghanistan by September. This is something that President Biden has directed. And because of that, there are a number of veterans organizations, 15 lawmakers in the U.S. Congress have written a letter to President Biden's administration saying that they have to take care of key Afghani personnel, translators, interpreters, as well as their family. They can't leave them behind. And a number of refugee organizations, notably one called No One Left Behind, are also pressing the Biden administration. They're pressing them to organize a large-scale evacuation of these endangered personnel to get them to safety while they review their applications and vet them. So that's the scenario of what's going on. And the size of it is, according to all the reports that I've been reading, there are 17,000 applications for a special immigrant visa that was allowed in 2009 for Afghanis employed by the U.S. to take advantage of it. But these 17,000 have created a backlog and they haven't been cleared, but it kind of gives you an idea of the magnitude of the size of the evacuation. And estimates are that every one of them would have a minimum of 3 to 4 family members. So when you start multiplying it out, you're hitting the 70,000 plus number.
Wow.
Just to also let you know, oh, sorry, I'll pause there.
No, yeah, because that's the number I heard over the weekend. I was like, that can't be right. It's got to be like 7,000, but 70,000.
And I think what also
so when you take the number, there's 17,000 backlogged applications, and you multiply it by a minimum of 3 to 4 family members. But I would like to say that the governor, in speaking with the governor has not been notified that Guam is being considered as a staging site. She has not been notified by the State Department, Department of Defense, the Biden administration, that we are being considered as a staging site for evacuation of these key Afghani personnel, and so that they can be in a safe place while their applications are being reviewed. Advocates for evacuation are saying Guam is a possible location, as well as bases in Qatar and the United Arab Emirates.
What about, have you heard anything from Congressman Nicholas or Madeline Berdallo, who's in D.C.?
No. I've checked in with the Congressman's office. I've also checked in with the State Department. The closest State Department official to us is the U.S. ambassador to the FSM, Ambassador Cantor. And she was on Guam, stranded here because she couldn't get flown back into Pohnpei. And so everybody got to know her. So I checked in with her, and she hadn't heard anything the stories coming out, the reports coming out, the Department of Defense says, yes, this is something we are capable of doing and we could do it if asked, but we haven't been asked. The Security Council, State Department says that the safety of our Afghani allies that have helped us is very important to us, and we're looking and we're reviewing it. But that's as far as it's gotten right now. Guam has not been officially notified that they would have a role in this.
So how real is it then, Carlotta? I mean, in a similar situation at this point, as public and as reported as a lot of these discussions are, would there have been some kind of contacting of the governor by now at this point?
I wasn't around when the Kurdish, well, I was a journalist when the Kurdish evacuation took place, and I was in college when the Vietnamese evacuation took place. So I'm not real familiar with it, but in checking on it, the very fact that the governor hasn't been notified, and I think if the congressman had been notified, he also would have shared that with us. He is, his office has not responded to my questions yet. And we have a good relationship with DOD, and we haven't been notified. And I don't know the process, and I don't know how fast they could notify and how much notice they would give you if we are directed to take the evacuation personnel.
Yeah, 70,000 is a lot, and I'm just kind of wondering if Anderson or Big Navy have the kind of facilities to kind of
I mean,
facilitate.
I guess a good test
But
run.
I guess not all of them would come at one time. You know, reading that article on Defense
Well,
One.
I think that's the thing, is that the U.S. personnel pull out by September. And so this one group, the one that's raising Guam a lot, is this one group, No One Left Behind.
Yeah.
They even went so far as to figure out how many flights it would have to take if they started right now. So all the reports that are coming out would be to not wait until September to begin the evacuation as soon as possible in order to get a grip on it. Yeah. But as I said, the governor has not been notified that Guam is being considered.
Carlotta, I know it's probably early in the conversation for this type of question, but what concerns, if any, are there about the possibility of any ISIS or Taliban people slipping in with these 70-some thousand?
Well, I think we just have to look at something that happened a number of years ago. Sabrina, I think you were a journalist at the time. There were like 900 people that came ashore on Guam in boats. Do you remember that, Bree?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
You guys
every weekend.
And in that group, sorry?
No, I was going to say it was like every single weekend we had boats coming through.
And
Alien invasion.
It ended up being about 900, and in that group was this key leader of a movement that had gotten in, of some kind of rebel movement that had gotten into that group, that it was quite concerning. So it was, as you were saying, Chris, who could slip into that group? Because we've seen that happen when there were just 900 people that came ashore in boats a while ago.
Oh. Well, it's a lot to unpack on a Monday morning, Carlotta.
I know. And, just going back to that article, it was 300 flights, 3 flights per day in order to meet that September 11 deadline, with 70,000 Afghan refugees possibly coming through here.
Yes, that is a lot, the logistics of it. But as I read, I did all this research. The Department of Defense says that if asked to do that, that is definitely something in their wheelhouse. It's something they are capable of pulling off that kind of an evacuation. The big question is, where would they take them to? And would it be, it's possible that it might be multiple sites.
Right. Yeah.
In order to minimize the impact to any one place.
So what's that conversation like, Carlotta, when we have all this movement around us through media and other types of reporting, but we haven't had any contact to to the governor. So when you discuss this with her, what's her takeaway? Is it? I mean, are we still kind of? How do you prep for something that you haven't been clued in on?
Well, I'm like you guys. I'm kind of like a nosy reporter. Once a nosy reporter, always a nosy reporter. So what I've been doing is doing the research, reading the articles, keeping up on everything. So I've just had brief conversations with the governor, and she's encouraged me to just keep digging, keep the connection. So, I've called over to Joint Region Marianas. I've called to the congressman's office. I've touched bases with the closest State Department official that I know. I'm reading all the different articles. So just getting up on it and staying on top of it is what we're doing right now. But as I said, the governor has not been officially notified that Guam is being considered as a staging site for a possible evacuation from Afghanistan of key personnel.
So you said you have not heard back from Congressman St. Nicholas yet?
No, not yet. But I just reached out to him over the weekend. So what I do know is that there were 15 members of Congress that wrote a letter to the Biden administration saying we must take care of our Afghani allies. And I could tell from reading the articles about this that many of the ones that signed on to the letter were veterans that served in Afghanistan, and so are getting calls themselves from former friends and colleagues that are terrified of what's going to happen to them if they are left behind.
Yeah, when you watch, or if you watch that House Foreign Affairs hearing last week, I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, you definitely could hear the concerns from several of the congressmen, especially Brian Mast from Florida. He used the word, I think, was it slaughtered or something like that. It was just really tragic, and sad to think that this could possibly happen. Yeah. I mean, that also just raises the question, like, with the U.S. withdrawal, if we're leaving behind a situation where, like, anybody who helped the U.S. is just going to get slaughtered, I mean, is it withdrawal the best decision? And I was thinking...
Yes, that's it.
Go ahead.
The kind of articles that I'm reading, too.
Mm-hmm. You know who has experience in this sort of situation?
Oh, Bree.
Former governor.
Uncle Carl! Yep.
He was governor, I want to say,
Kurds.
during the Kurds. Yeah.
Guys, just
who was the congressperson? Was
history lesson real quick. Sabrina, this situation we're talking about with the Afghan refugees, it's not anything novel to Guam because of our, tip of the spearness. But Bree, this has happened twice before in Guam's history, right?
Yeah, I wasn't here for the Vietnamese refugees, but
Neither
I was
was
here
I.
for the Operation Pacific Haven. And I remember the flight coming in from Anderson Air Force Base and how they were staying over at Andy South. And that's where they were being housed. It was a lot. I remember it was a lot of flights that came in.
To give you an idea, Sabrina, there was about 6,000 Kurds that were evacuated to Guam, and it took 4 months to clear them, to vet them and clear them and move them on deeper into the United States. So if you multiply that and do the math on 70,000, that would be more than 40 months. So the expectation of what could happen to a jurisdiction and how long that process could be, it's just to give you an idea of how long it took to clear the Kurds. And there was another evacuation, not too many people are aware of it, that Guam was a part of, but when Pinatubo went off, many of the military personnel from Subic and Clark were evacuated over here until they moved back into the U.S., but to get them immediately out of Clark and Subic because of that volcano. So because of a volcano eruption, Guam was also the closest point to be able to jump in and help.
Right. We did have a couple of comments here. Bev writes in, if they're placed on Guam, how long will they be staged here before entry to the mainland U.S.? And then she also writes, or would they be eligible to somewhat become residents of Guam? Bev, we're way early for those kind of questions. As this is being discussed in the national, international media, our governor hasn't even been contacted about it, so we'll see.
And also,
we're definitely we're definitely on top of this. We're doing everything we can. We're plugged in every way that we could possibly be plugged in. And I'm sure our congressman is also, his office, I'm sure he's also plugged in and paying close attention to this.
Yeah. I know, Chris, you kind of mentioned it when we were off air about this possible humanitarian operation involving Guam, but then you factor in concerns about COVID.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure, I'm wondering if that's also part of, it probably is more than likely a big part of the discussions, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, would there be, it's early, but would there be screening? Are we going to vaccinate these people? That.
Yes, and I can assure you that we will keep you posted on any developments, anything that we hear. As soon as the governor, if the governor hears anything, we'll be sure to let the folks know.
Carlotta, so I know in the past, especially over the last year, the governor has really kind of played up her relationship with Indo-PACOM. So even though she hasn't been contacted by anybody, at what point does she start putting her feelers out to say, hey, is something going on? I read something on the internet.
Well, we have just what I said is I reached out to Joint Region Marianas. I touched bases with the closest U.S. ambassador to Guam, and I reached out to our congressman, and I know our congressman is also going into state and Department of Defense. So we're inquiring. We are aggressively inquiring.
We just got a comment from our friend Dr. Hoa Wen. Guam should help on the refugees evacuation. Those people will likely get killed. I was 14 years old when I was one of the refugees from Vietnam. Our family truly appreciated the people of Guam and this opportunity to give us a new life. Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Well, there is no doubt that we have an important history in helping people that were evacuated out of war-torn or disaster areas, and it's a proud history that we have.
Right on. Have we squeezed everything out of you, Carlotta? Is there any more juicy nuggets you're hiding in there?
No, you got everything.
Well, thank you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thank you for asking.
All right, Carlotta. Thank you for gushing.
Bye.
Okay.
Take care.
See you. All right. Well, there's your Monday. Not really able to provide much more than what we've seen, right? You've been really following this, though.
Well, yeah, it's pretty huge.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
So
I kind of heard that there were, high-level discussions about it. So.
Oh, you kind of heard, huh?
Yeah.
From a little bird?
Yeah.
There you go. I wondered, would it be something where they put some over at Qatar? Is it Qatar or Qatar? They put some there and then maybe like 10,000 here, or you know what I mean? I wonder how it's going to be.
Or split some here, or like or Diego Garcia.
Right. And then so these, from what you're reading though, Bree, if they come, would it be for the duration of their what are they applying for, like these visas? Or there's a special type of visa, right?
A special immigrant visa?
Yeah.
But that was approved so many years ago, and so that's what Carlotta was saying. There's 17,000 that they have not acted upon. And so you factor in the 17,000 plus the 70, what did she say, the other thousands that are still there. So that's where you come up with the 70,000, because it's the translators, interpreters, and their families.
Right, yeah. Oh, there you go. 7:18. We're going to take a quick break, and we're coming back with the Mayor's Council of Guam. We got PD Mayor Jesse Alec, Talafolfo Mayor Taitagui, and OCP. You down with OCP? Mayor Jesse Gogui, you down with OCP? They're coming up right here on The Link. Good morning.
Learn more. KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link.
Family platter of fried chicken? Check. Tray of red rice? Check. Birthday cake? Check. 1 case of water? Check. 12-pack of beer? Check. 2 cases of Pepsi?
Check. When you have a long checklist but are short on time, we got you. Get it delivered by us. Order on the app or website at uno-go.com. Guam on demand.
Shoot, I forgot the paper product.
Oh wait, UnoGo has that too.
Make sure you're connected. The writing's on the wall. 'Cause if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall,
Connection is a human necessity, one we need today more than ever. And with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances. And it all starts with yes.
Help us celebrate the class of 2021. KUAM wants to help you celebrate this touchstone moment in the lives of your graduates. For the months of May and June, we will flood the social media pages of KUAM with photos and well wishes for the class of 2021 grads. Log on to KUAM.com to submit photos and brief messages or captions. Then look for your special grad on KUAM Instagram and the Facebook pages from all of your friends here at KUAM. Congratulations, seniors! Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
As May is a month to celebrate mothers and everything they do, let's not forget that many parents in our community are struggling to make ends meet and provide for their children with basic necessities. The KUAM Care Force is partnering with the Salvation Army for a very special drive this May, benefiting our precious and most vulnerable in our community. Through Friday, May 28th, we'll be collecting diapers, formula, infant toiletries, baby food, and other new items for infants and toddlers at our KUAM studios in Harmon on weekdays between noon and 4 p.m. Show you care and help families in need this spring. Due to the consideration of our current public health emergency, donations will not be accepted outside of hours specified. Curbside acceptance of donations is acceptable by calling 637-5826 upon arrival.
Steel Athletics has joined the KUAM Care Force as a community partner in the Mama and Nenny's Drive. You may also drop donations to their location in Tamuning on any day of the week. See KUAM.com for designated times.
93.9 FM.
Hadi
right, 7:24. Let's head into the Zoom room. A little bit of a scheduling mix-up. We got Senator Joanne Brown, Republican, on a Monday. Morning, Senator.
Hi, good morning, Chris and Bree. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So I'm guessing it's summer because you normally can't come on before 8:30 because you usually drop your boy at school.
That's true. Otherwise, I'd be on the road right now.
Right on. Well, good morning.
Yeah, I don't get those mornings to sleep in either way. You know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's the life we chose. So, Senator, I guess we'll just start because we didn't get to catch up with you. But so we'll start with this Chamorro Land Trust Commission stuff. You written a letter to the governor. I believe also the chair, and then the speaker had announced last week that she will be having an oversight hearing at a date to be determined coming up. Just your reaction on that, all that?
Well, I'm certainly pleased the speaker is moving forward to have a hearing on this issue. I mean, as you know, this whole situation has just raised more questions. And we have a history with the Chamorro Land Trust that has not been the best. I mean, in terms of how the Chamorro Land Trust properties have been used and in some case misused and abused. And moving forward, I think we need to ensure that, the trust is working in the interest of the people that are supposed to be recipients of the trust. So certainly the stepping down of Mr. Haddock does not, begin and end the whole process of concerns that were raised with regards to whether or not any documents had been changed from the original 8 land agent reports. And so I think that issue does need to be clarified. If it's just a single report and it was corrected, perhaps that may be one thing, but I doubt it. I think we need to inquire also of the land agents. Are there any other official reports that they've submitted that have since been altered? Because at the bottom of each of these reports, Chris, it indicates the initials of the land agent that prepared that report. So, I mean, certainly the director is able to add on what they want to recommend to the commission, but to represent a document that it's a work product of a land agent, and then, that document may have been altered by the director, and yet still representing that document as if it's simply the report of the land agent. I think that's a misrepresentation. I mean, that's essentially, falsifying a document, fraudulently falsifying a document, and misrepresenting that report. So I think those questions need to be asked and answered so that we're aware that are there any other reports other than the one, of course, from that February 18th meeting that, that land agent brought to light, that the director had changed her report and that she did not support that and didn't agree because she believed that the recommendation was actually a recommendation against what was allowed by law. So definitely looking forward to when the speaker does schedule a hearing on that issue.
What about, the AG was on the program last week, Friday, and Chris was asking him about the whole Chamorro Land Trust Commission request from the speaker to do this investigation into the forgery and all of that. And then he kept pointing out the fact that, well, we have an assistant AG that's assigned over there at the Chamorro Land Trust Commission. So, kind of just listening to that, I wasn't sure whether or not, well, because you have an assistant AG on the board, that you might not find anything was a foul.
Oh, I don't think that resolves an issue. I mean, my experience, with legal counsels is normally they'll respond to legal questions when they're asked of it. Do I believe the legal counsel that's assigned to the Land Trust Commission is investigating or reviewing these issues? I have no idea. Had that been the case, then I doubt you would have had a land agent bring to light the issue that her document and her position on an applicant had been altered and changed, by the director. So I don't hear anything coming up with that. I don't think simply having an assistant AG assigned to the Land Trust Commission is going to address or resolve these issues in and of themselves. Right. It doesn't bring to light. Otherwise, why don't we have a report come forth that there are no other applications or documents that have been changed or altered by the director? I'd certainly love to hear that that's the case, but I don't know factually if that's the case. So, having the assistant AG sitting as a member of the board there, I don't know what they're doing other than, being at the board and advising as legal questions come up. That's for them to publicly announce what they're doing at the Land Trust Commission. But I don't think that in and of itself says everything's all good and all clear because they simply have an assistant AG assigned to the commission. In most cases, normally, my experience, as I mentioned, they're normally responding to legal questions that they're asked. So I don't know. I mean, the chairman has never come forth really with what happened in their executive session here with regards to this issue. I mean, initially, the chairman was coming off that, they've reviewed it, they're correcting it, and it's all good. And then, the next thing we know, a couple weeks later, they have another meeting and ask, the director Hadig a question. And the next thing you know, they're claiming he's unqualified for the position. So what has happened, what happened in between and behind that executive meeting that was not made public, we don't know.
There was also a meeting with the governor and the chair in between all that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat
There
yourself?
was also a meeting with the governor and the chairman of the Land Trust Commission in between.
Yes, that's right.
All
That was publicly announced that they were meeting, and the meeting supposedly happened. I mean, we don't know because we're not privy to what those discussions were, and all we know is, Mr. Haddock's, quickly resigned, and they announced that he's going to be at the governor's office. So that's publicly that as much as most people out there know. But again, that doesn't address the issue. Just simply having him not there doesn't address the concerns that were raised by this land agent. And is this an isolated case? I mean, hopefully it is, but we don't know that. And then the commission itself has not been forthcoming with regards to these issues. So I think we need to address it. I mean, it's unfortunate. The whole intent behind why the land trust was created to help facilitate these lands to eligible recipients and ensure that it's done fairly and properly and in the proper order that these applicants, came forth since goodness the mid-90s to apply for these properties. And, we've seen over the years how other people have jumped ahead of the line. We've seen how people, conveniently are able to get land trust properties adjacent to their own private land and expand their boundaries. I mean, we've seen abuse over the years. And I think we're reaching a point of level of tolerance that this is just not how the land trust should be operating. And it's not properly operating. So I think these issues need to be addressed. If there's nothing that comes to light and everything's all good, then wonderful. But those questions have not been answered.
Right. You're right. I mean, here we are. We wouldn't even be in this position if all they would have done was just hold an open meeting, explain what happened. But now, the people that are suffering are the people that have been waiting since the 1990s for a lease, and it's just ridiculous. I just don't get it.
And it's just the fact that there's just been in the past, misuse of the land trust, and you continue to hear those stories and people that even get the property question, are they eligible? Did they get it in the proper sequence? Are they using the property for what it's intended for? All of those things need to be addressed. And certainly for a period of time when I was up at the University of Guam, we did have a formal agreement with the Chamorro Land Trust to assist them in reviewing their agricultural leases. That was the first time since the land trust was created that any type of review or actual field inspection was conducted with regards to these agricultural properties. And so I had an opportunity to look at a number of those applications, as well as we initially were starting to help them review their commercial applications and the lack of compliance. So I do have some firsthand experience directly working with the university in a formal agreement with the Chamorro Land Trust to review those issues. And it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate what has happened, but moving forward, we need to address these issues and clean them up. I think we have an expectation that should happen. And the land trust should be removed from these allegations and issues of corruption. That just should not be the case. And we know where we should be. I mean, we might even have to formally legislate this process because we've seen so much deviation happening that maybe that's something we need to look at. But we definitely need to get this issue cleared to find out if there are any other official agent reports that may have been changed or altered. And I think the only way we're going to even know that is to actually, inquire that of the land agents. Because I did send a formal letter to the chairman inquiring and requesting specifically the original land agent reports and also the copy of the reports that were provided to the commission. He did respond to me a couple of weeks ago stating that there's only one set of land agent reports, and just logically that doesn't make sense to me. So I think we need to get to the bottom of this issue.
By any chance, do you know who this new CLTC or acting administrator is? This Angela Camacho? What sort of experience?
No, I don't know who they've since appointed in an acting capacity.
It's Angela Camacho.
Yeah, it's Angela Camacho.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you knew.
Coming from Guam Housing, I think, right? There was a detail assignment.
I just hope whoever they put there is capable and competent and responsible in how they execute their duties as the head of the land trust. Right. So we'll see. I hope as time goes on, we can find out her credentials and how we're going to ensure and the public can ensure and the recipients of land trust can ensure that all the public officials that are working at the land trust are properly executing their duties.
Senator, just before we let you go, because we got the mayors coming on, what is the remedy, though?
Sure.
Because I think that we're kind of losing track of, or at least it seems like we're losing track of this whole going into executive session to discuss Jack Hattig, right? There's no remedy. Like, that was supposed to be something that was discussed openly and publicly. It wasn't. We can't get any of the information from these executive sessions. And to me, it's like they got away with it. They successfully shielded from public view all these issues that, I mean, even the speaker had come on before and said that it shouldn't have been an executive session.
I totally agree. I think the more they try to, shroud darkness around this issue, the more questions and speculation it brings out there. And I think that's where we need to bring the light in and, formally through a formal hearing, an oversight hearing, bring these issues to the table and start asking these questions and getting answers, not just so much for ourselves in our respective capacities, but for the public. And again, the recipients of the land trust that want to see, and especially many, I still, in the short time I've been back in office, I get inquiries on a regular basis from people that are land trust recipients, either because they can't get basic utilities or they've been waiting all these years to get a designated lot with a lot number that they can actually stand on, to formally say, okay, I've been assigned this property because of issues being able to get a proper lot assigned to them. So these concerns are ongoing and they should be addressed where we openly have an answer. I mean, Mr. Hattig was in an appointed unclassified position. We're not going through a formal civil service review of this. There was no need to have, said, oh, it's an executive, it's a personnel matter, which is what they said, right? It's a personnel matter. And that's the reason why they were justifying going into an executive session that was closed doors. So those type of actions, again, where these type of allegations have come up, just, bring a big question mark in my mind. I'm sure they do for other people that are listening to this issue and are just as concerned, even if they're not recipients of the land trust. Just because we have an expectation publicly that these things should be done appropriately and public resources should not be used and abused.
Thank you, Senator.
Okay, we'll keep in touch. Thanks so much. You guys have a good week.
You too. All right. Senator Joanne Brown, Republican. 737, Mayor's Council of Guam. We're going to take just a super quick break, and then we're coming back with the Mayor's Council. Good morning.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
June makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. A fact not lost on Daryl, whose brother Byron is cooking the onaga he caught at a secret fishing spot with his girlfriend Malia, who used to work for the Shave Ice Guy, whose second cousin Vince drives the school bus ridden by Calais, whose auntie makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. Everything here is connected, and with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances, and it all starts with yes.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link. Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
All right, good morning. The link 741. Let's head right into the KUAM News Zoom room where we got a bunch of the mayors standing by, but we're going to start with Mayor Jesse Gogui of OCP, Orla Talampago, discussing this Bill 135, Sabrina.
Yeah, Bill 135. I believe there was a public hearing recently, and this was a bill that was actually introduced earlier this year. Actually in May.
That is earlier this year.
Yeah. And it deals with, I believe, pet licensure and microchipping for licensed pets. It's called a comprehensive stray pet control program.
All right, and Mayor Gogui's coming on because although this bill intends to address a specific problem, Mayor Gogui, you're saying that this measure falls a little bit short?
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Half a day to our people of Guam, and thanks for having us on. You know, it's always a pleasure to.
Of course.
And it's a blessing and definitely an opportunity for mayors to come on to the media platforms and talk about different things. I guess we want to talk about 135, and as Sabrina had mentioned, a comprehensive plan, regarding animal control. And although there's real good, strong merits inside the bill, I still don't believe it's a comprehensive plan. And as we were kind of discussing before we went on air, I think if you read the bill, you'll find that it's trying to address, the licensing of pets, microchipping of pets. And these are pets that belong to somebody, that are loved by somebody, that's actually a part of people's families. That's never been an issue, I think, with regard to how the pet problem, the animal control problem we're having on Guam. As a matter of fact, it talks about raising fees for the licensing of pets, and that's always a debatable topic. Raising fees by the government, especially during this time of pandemic. But I think the mayors, when we talk about animal control, we're more interested in not the people that follow the law and try to register their pets and love their pets, et cetera, et cetera. We need to start talking about some real solutions about the stray dog population, which is a whole separate issue. These are pets that are not owned, not loved. Nobody's going to take them into a vet and have them microchipped, et cetera, et cetera. And all too often when we try to address this animal control issue, this animal control issue on Guam, we clump the two together, thinking that licensing of pets is a solution to the stray dog animal problem. And it's a partial solution because the idea is through the registration program, it's going to help fund the animal control program, but it always falls short. I mean, we talk about a program that's been in place for almost 30 years. In fact, I want to say almost, if not almost more than 30 years, almost 30 years. And in 30 years, we still have not seen, a real solution, a real dent in the stray animal population. And if for those of us who listened in and participated in the public hearing last week with regard to, this bill, one of the programs that GAIN has always promoted, and even though they say they haven't implemented, they promote, is the catch, neuter, release program. We catch them, we neuter them, and release them back into the wild, if nobody wants to adopt them. And, I have a problem with that. Ultimately, over the long haul, they say you put enough sterile animals in the wild, it's going to kind of dwindle down its population. That's all well and good 30 years from now. But, we've got, according to Cyrus Slur, we've got almost 30,000 stray animals running loose now. And do we have the luxury of time to let or to continue to allow more than 30 or almost 30,000 stray animals run loose and run wild, and almost to the point where some of them terrorize us, our communities on this island, and with only one animal control officer to manage that population. And we say, well, the mayors help. We do help, but we're not trained. Our people aren't trained. Our people don't receive hazardous pay. Just a whole laundry list of things that our staff does not enjoy the skill sets of when it comes to my staff and, the trained, badge, carrying animal control officers. And so, when somebody says it's comprehensive, I chimed into the public hearing because I'd say it's not as comprehensive as I think it really needs to be. And we really need to not necessarily scratch this bill because there's some merits to this bill. Microchipping is an important part of the program, I think. But we can't stop and say, well, we've done our job. This is going to take care of our animal control problem on Guam, because it's not. And I want people to step up and realize that our job is not done. As public leaders, our job is not done. So
that's
you
it.
See what you said, kind of passionate about.
Rest your case.
All right. So Mayor Gogui, you're right. And I know that we've had with Mayor Paco, because Mayor Paco actually chairs our stray animal roundup committee. And so I had to leave the public hearing because another engagement that I committed to. So I wasn't able to explain further. And I'm not sure if it was explained after I left, but we had several meetings with Senator Rogel, with Agriculture and with GAIN about the other options, and that perhaps we just have to start, right? And so you're right, Mayor Gogui, and that's where a lot of us mayors agree that, we're not gonna, most of us, I don't know about all of you guys, but or those on this call, but everyone else perhaps may not have or may not agree with the release portion of that process. And so we agreed, though, at one of those meetings that that would be something that we should just try, because GAIN and animal control and whoever else says that the release portion works. So that's one concept that we just kind of had to agree on. And then, of course, the fees. And then the other portion that I think there was some contention with is the visiting practitioners to help with the sterilization of the animals. And so, of course, there wasn't a single solution to the problem, or there isn't a single solution to the problem. And so this bill really is just a stepping stone to a full-on resolution. And so you are right, Mayor Gogui, that this is not really comprehensive, and it's not going to solve our entire problem. But we're hoping, and the reason why most of us support this is because we're hoping that it's a start, to an end.
Yeah, and I think, and I freely admit, in many of the discussions that have been going on over the last 6 months, I haven't been able to participate, and we talked about that a while back when the last time we were on Zoom, or at least I was on Zoom with KUAM and Mayor Alec and some of the other mayors. But nonetheless, now that I'm kind of somewhat back, I'm starting to work back in my office, and I tried to stay on top of things, and if I know that this catch, neuter, release program, there are studies that indicate it works, and I don't have a problem with that. I really don't have an issue with not doing it. I have an issue with, we have 30,000 dogs, and when are we going to stop? How many dogs, stray dogs, unclaimed dogs are we going to allow to roam this island? We have a lot of animals roaming this island. We have the bonados, we have the babwees,
The carabao.
So dogs are just another category.
The carabao you got right behind you?
The carabao, and they call the carabaos, They call pigs because they're a problem. They call, deer because it becomes a nuisance. So when are we going to call? And I'm not trying to be heartless about it, but, we have programs to call, the population because it's just too large to be manageable. But when it comes to these stray dogs, there's a love for dogs. I used to be a pet owner, and, I don't own a dog. I freely admit now I don't own a dog. And I haven't owned a dog because I like, I told my family, my children when they were growing up, if we don't have a fence to let that dog run free, we can't, own a dog, because I just don't like seeing dogs tied up, we've had AKC bred dogs, in our homes, they stayed in the house, they stayed outside the house, and I can appreciate the love people have for their pets. But you see, and that's the problem I have, is when it comes to animal control, we're looking at the stray dogs and clumping them into the category of family-owned dogs, pets, pets that are part of someone's family. And the two can't be mixed. And we must distinguish that there's a different approach that we must take, with regard to stray animals. And again, the question becomes, at what point in time are we going to take other measures besides catch, neuter, and release to handle an animal problem on this island, like we do the carabaos, the pigs, and the deer. In fact, wild chickens is becoming a problem that residents are reaching out to the mayors to catch and cut the chickens, or pass them out to
back, Mayor Gogui.
Wow,
during this public hearing, did anybody bring up the possibility of using some of the money for increasing the shelter capacity at Gain? Because it's something that Cyrus Lure has been talking about.
Well, that's the idea of increasing the fees. There is a fee increase associated with the bill.
Mm-hmm. Right. So a part of the revenues from that fee increase will go to increasing the shelter capacity, or is it just going with spay and neuter these strays?
I think it's just the program in general. If you read the bill, it's just the program in general. Animal control in general. And in fact, what's the name of the revolving fund, Mayor Alec? It's the, I think it's called the Rabies Animal Control Fund. But it's a discretionary fund managed by the Director of Agriculture, that she manages directly, just like the mayors have. We all have revolving funds. These revolving funds are funds that we manage directly.
So, Mayor Gogui, I think what I wanted to share also in line with your last thought about culling, straightforward. I think perhaps as a council and as a group that handles a lot of these issues, I think that's where we're going to need to show a strong support for it if that's what we agree on, because we're sure that that's what the perhaps GAIN, I don't know exactly who it is not agreeing with the culling idea, and we know that because we've asked that many times. And so if as mayors we agree that that's what we want to try, I think we need to bring that to the table again. And that certainly has been brought up. I don't think it's an idea that's well liked.
And I appreciate that. I think many people who love pets, and these folks that truly cares for their pets as if they're part of the family, I can appreciate the desire not to cull animals. I mean, in fact, you have people that love pigs, that have service pigs as their pet, that do not like seeing pigs brought to a slaughterhouse and turned into food. And the same thing with cows, and but when you have an animal roaming this island or any any place that is a problem to the community, leaders like us, we need to come up with some hard decisions that not everybody's going to be good, that not everybody's going to like. But I always think in the back of my mind, what were we elected for? We were elected to make sure that the health, the safety, the welfare of our communities is paramount. More than anything, that the health, safety, and welfare of our community remains paramount in all of what we do. And so I'm just saying, when I see all of these wild dogs, especially the vicious ones, that takes sometimes weeks to catch because we can't catch them. We're not even trained to catch them, and so we depend on animal control, which is down to one animal control officer to catch them. We allow an animal to terrorize the community until such time as it's taken down. Because the other option is, the law allows that if there's a vicious animal and it's threatening people, the GPD can shoot it on site. And we're not gun carrying peace officers. None of our staff are peace officers. We're the only peace officers, mayors and vice mayors, and we don't carry sidearms. We're not trained to.
Yeah, I don't know, Mayor. You lost me at service pigs.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I know you got a meeting, so Mayor Gogwe, I reached out to Senator Clinton. We'll try and get him on the show tomorrow to maybe address some of your concerns with the bill.
Well, I appreciate it. Like I said, it's not a bad bill, but it's not a comprehensive bill, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
There's a lot of merits to the bill, and that we need to move forward on. The microchipping, like I said, the raising of fees so we can infuse, more monies. In fact, finding a way to make sure that the licensing of pets is actually done. How many people do you know who own a dog or a cat and that they don't have their pets aren't licensed? I'm sure you probably know quite a few. And so, what do we do to make sure that everybody who owns a pet and dog or a cat and dog on this island has those pets licensed? What do we do? So anyways, and you're right. I have a meeting to get to, so thank you for your time.
Of course.
And thank you for listening.
Yeah. Mayor Gogwe,
Mayor.
I'm really glad to see you're doing better. Guys, Mayor Gogwe had caught COVID during the pandemic, and that's why every little while he does that cough, because he caught it pretty bad. And then, Mayor, can you give us an update on, if you don't mind, right?
I'm sorry, give you an update on what?
How's your condition? Are you doing okay? Because I heard some coughing in there.
About a week and a half ago, now almost 2 weeks ago, I was seen by my primary physician, and they gave me clearance to return to work without restrictions. Wow. And so this week, I actually see the pulmonologist. That was a real issue. What the COVID did more than anything is it affected my lungs to the point where I was hospitalized twice. And I feel, with God's blessing, I wasn't intubated. My lungs were pretty severely affected by the pandemic, and it's like having a really bad case of pneumonia, but not bad enough where you have to be intubated. So I just count my blessings, and I'm doing well. As you can see, I'm almost back to my old self other than a cough every once in a while.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. Good to have you back, Mayor Gogui.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yep, we'll see you. Enjoy your meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Taitagui, did you have any issue with the strays in Talafulfu, or because you were pretty quiet? You want to add your 2 cents?
He's got them trained.
Unmute. He does, right? Unmute, Mayor.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
hear me? Hey, good morning to everybody. And thanks for the invitation to come down to be here
course.
to discuss about issues in Talafulfu.
Right
Thank
on.
you, that's Chris.
Of course, Mayor. Mayor, so you wanted to come on about this, was it a GITA grant?
Yeah, the Gita grant. What happened there was last month I was reading the article in the PDN, and I came across an article from about Gita giving out grant for cultural show, sports tourism. So nothing on the upgrading of facilities. So I took the chance to submit an application to upgrade my outdoor basketball court. So I did it, and it was approved. The grant is for $25,000 to repair the surface, resurface the court, and put new fences. About 50% of the project has been done by GPA. They installed new park poles, installed the new lightings, and it looks pretty good so far. If I get the resurface and the fencing done, I'll be okay. I'll be 100% operational for the kids. So again, I want to thank Guam Regional Medical Center for the contribution in this program. They did a lot to us, so it's a big saving for Government Guam. They're able to save $25,000 from the general fund. So thank you again to GIDA and GRMC.
That's some good news,
We're ready
man.
to move forward.
Right on.
When is the project going to be done? Fully completed?
Unmute.
Well, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Unmute.
Aye.
There you go. Okay, Mayor? I can't see. Unmute, Mayor. Press the button one more time. Unmute.
So we're really glad that
Thank you, Mayor Alec.
Talafulfu Mayor, he was proactive in applying for the GITA grant program, and so we're really just hoping that the other mayors will do the same, because there definitely are other funding sources out there other than the general fund, and that's really what we're looking at, hoping to identify other sources. And so I'm just very glad that the mayor and his team were proactive in that sense, because to really just rely on the general fund is, that's just futile. I mean, it's just, we don't know what the balances are there. We never know what, what's actually going to be given to us from the general fund. So it's really a blessing for Talafulfu. And Sinahanya also received some money as well. And I believe Sinahanya received money to continue their GURA project that they have at their community center, or to finish their GURA project. So again, that's just indicative of the other sources out there of funding that are available to the mayors and to other government agencies. So I'm just really glad that again, Talafulfu was awarded that grant. And I did share that grant program with the rest of the mayors. So hopefully, next year, more and more will apply. Of course, it's competitive, right? And so I believe there was perhaps 30 some applicants, I believe 35. And of the 35, 15 were awarded. And so, there's definitely a process in awarding that, and it goes to their board. So, each mayor just has to put together a good proposal for their board, and obviously Mayor Taitagui did a good job. So congratulations to the people of Talafulfu and of Sinahanya.
Right on. Mayor, did you figure that unmute yet?
Mute button.
Got to do another training, Mayor Alec. There you go.
There you go.
All
Viva
right.
Telepopo.
Viva God's country.
Viva God's country.
Right
Viva
on.
God's country, Maganda.
Anyway, once again, my documentation, my bidding process done, and maybe about 3 months the project will be done. So I got everything in line. So once again, the bidding process comply with the rules and regulations of NGIDA. We'll avoid the program, and within 2 months it'll be done. I need this project to be done because there are a lot of spaces for the summer program for the youth. Yes, I do have a gym, but it's being overused right now. By the summer program. So hopefully we get it done in 2 months, and maybe I could bring you over so you could join us at the ribbon cutting ceremony and join us playing basketball with the kids.
Let's go.
All right.
Right on.
Thank you.
What else is going on with Talafofo, Mayor, before we let you go?
Come again?
What else is going on with Talafofo before we let you go?
Yeah, right now we got our GFA soccer field. The work has started. The civil work has started. The fence started to put up, and the land clearing is ongoing. So hopefully this year we'll get a soccer field at Talafofo, 5-star field. Another one, we got funding for the police substation. So hopefully we could see those things materialize this year. And hopefully one more thing I'm going to do for the sports is the Southern Cowboys right now are homeless. They have no home. So I'm trying to get them a field here at Talafofo, football field for the Southern Cowboys. So hopefully they could get this done this year. The future is very promising for Talafofo, and I pray to for more success.
Where are the Cowboys practicing now?
They practice now at the baseball field, and they play the game there. But what happened? They destroyed the field for the baseball game. So I have to go back every now and then to repair the field. But hopefully, this year we'll give them a field of their own. They could maintain it and have a game down there every month for the entire island, because the Eagle football field in Tamila is going to be closed pretty soon. So there's no field for football.
Wait, what do you mean it's going to be closed pretty soon?
Huh?
What do you mean it's going to be closed pretty soon, Eagles Field?
Well, I think they're going to take over the place for the new hospital.
Hey, Dave, Famagun, where are you guys going to play? Play on the road, pues, if they don't want you to play on the football field.
Okay, the future is very good, very promising for Talafofo. So,
Right on.
keep it that way.
Well, Mayor, I know a lot of people don't know this, but I did play one season with the Southern Cowboys, so this hits close to home for me.
That's true.
Right on.
What position? Left out.
Left out. Very funny. Very funny. Go ahead. What else? What else you got? All right, Mayor Taitagui.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else you want to share? How about crime? How's crime in Talafofo?
Come again?
The crime.
The crime, we're not immune from any crime, so we gotta share. So actually, we just keep, going out there and doing inspection and patrolling the area to make sure everybody's safe. But there's things we can do. We can, protect our people. There's something you can do. It all depends on the individual. So we just do our best to, protect our people.
Right on, Mayor Taitagui. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations.
Right on.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mayor Alec, anything you want to add as Mayor's Council President before we let you go?
Well, the two big things I think going on this week for the villages are Dededo has the vaccination clinics. So there's 3 vaccination clinics this week in Dededo, and really just want to encourage residents to get to those clinics. And I'm sure you have the schedule out there, right? KOM always has that information. So we're really trying to push that out. And then, of course, the farmers to families, a food box from USDA. This month is the last month for those boxes, and the northern villages and the larger villages are being distributed this week. So contact your mayor's office for those boxes. Those boxes include fresh produce, chilled milk, cheese, and frozen meat items. That grant program has ended this month, and again, it just really depends on the USDA and those businesses who wish to bid on that program. So for us, this is the last month. Mm-hmm. That does not include the TFAP program, where we have the food commodities bags, the dried goods, and the cereals. So that'll continue. We're not sure when that'll end, but we know that'll continue. So those are the two big things for the council this week. Other than it being graduation season, last night was UOG's graduation. That was actually very nice to be at. The one thing that I did have to tell them was, I'm so glad there were not all these honorable guests. Usually you have to listen to a whole list of everybody being there.
Right.
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, even me, it's like, really, do you really want to hear all of them there? And so there was really only 3 elected officials, which is great. And the rest was, so it went on. I mean, it was still
we could keep that, guys. After COVID, we could keep that. Just trim all the fat, Now you guys know we don't need to hear from every freaking... Sorry.
Right? Okay. Yeah. No, I agree.
I'll just stop.
The Paseo Stadium was great. It was nice and cool. Yeah. I think maybe we should have all of our graduations out there, and that there probably was 1,000 people.
Wow.
So it was great. They did a good job at UOG. I thought they did. So yeah, it's graduation season, so we'll be expecting that, and hopefully everyone just gets vaccinated, so we're all safe. But that's all we have for this week, and I'm glad that the 2 mayors joined us this morning.
Yeah, that was cool.
I had a couple things. Yeah, I just wanted to get an update, because I think when we spoke last time, we were talking about COVID pay and how mayor's staff, employees, you guys were getting COVID pay, but then you were informed you're not getting it anymore. So what is the update?
So the update is that we still have not received our workers have still not received the pay since January, and I believe they're waiting for a drawdown of funds from the American Rescue Plan. I don't have the total amount, but I know that we have about 230 employees, so it's about that amount that needs to get paid since January.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Was this a request that you guys made to the governor in the wish list that everybody was asked to submit?
No, we did. This was not included in that wish list. We kind of felt that it wasn't a wish. I think it's something that needs to get paid. Mm-hmm. The workers, our staff worked for the pandemic. It's not really it wasn't really a choice. Yeah. I mean, unless our office didn't operate, then of course they didn't work, but they needed all 19 mayors' offices operating throughout the pandemic. So like I said, it can't be a part of our wish list, because it's almost a mandate, right?
Right.
So is that what DOA told you guys, that we're going to stop paying this because we just don't have the money? And we have
That's correct.
Okay.
We got the notification from DOA to stop paying because of the lack of funds. If we wanted to continue to pay it out by the pay period, we needed to use our local funds, which of course could not be used because we're already there's already a shortfall because of the loss of revenue for fiscal 21. So it's not possible to pay it out of local funds.
Mayor, there's a surplus.
Yeah. Well, isn't there? Yeah, you're right. No deficit and a surplus.
We're told it's not only on paper, so show me the money.
Amen. Mayor, there was it Typhoon Wu-Tip? That was the name of it, right? Wu-Tip? But anyway, so I know there was a bunch of mayor staff who had worked on during Typhoon Wu-Tip, and then just knowing a couple of the different mayor's boys, there was an issue where they didn't get paid for a while after working those storm hours. Do you anticipate this whole COVID pay issue stretching on that long?
I actually did, because typically when our staff work for typhoons and disasters, they don't get paid right away. I mean, it goes on for months, and that's just how it has always been, and that really is the process through DOA and Homeland Security. And so I was actually quite surprised that they were receiving the pay last year. It wasn't, I don't believe it was on the pay period, but at least it's still within 2 to 3 weeks. But now it's, since January. So I kind of anticipate it to be the same way, where it's drawn out.
All right. Just real quickly, you going to be meeting with the governor or any of her financial team about ARP and how much you guys might be getting, since we haven't seen a plan yet?
Is there a plan, Mayor? Do you know? Have you?
I don't know.
Have you seen one?
I haven't seen one. Of course, I continue to advocate through different parts of the governor's office, right, to ensure that they know we're needing this money. And so we do support the legislature's plan for the Mayor's Council on the $7 million. And we do find that it is justifiable, and we can justify that $7 million. Of course, we're not saying that it can be spent in 1 year, and it obviously can't because of the procurement process and how we're going to actually execute that program. And so we're hoping that by speaking with the different officials at Adelup, that they'll realize that it is necessary for us to receive that money. Of course, our concern is taking that $7 million out of our fiscal 22 budget. So that'll be a big deal. I mean, we'll definitely have a lot of conversation about that in the coming weeks. And I believe our public hearing for our budget is in June 7, I believe it is. So that'll definitely be something that'll be brought up, because we've requested for 11 million as our 22 budget, fiscal 22 budget. And if they're assuming, and when I say they, I'm thinking the legislature and the governor are assuming that we can subtract that 7 million from the 11 million that we've requested, that's definitely a big mistake, because then first of all, our operations other than maintenance is going to be hampered, and that just means personnel as well.
Mayor,
so yes, there's still conversation with different people, not directly, certainly with the governor, so the governor knows what's going on, but at the same time, we're just trying to work through Adelup as well to ensure that our message is clear.
Are you talking about working with? I want to say one of those special assistants up there was
Bob Lizama.
Bob Lizama is the mayor. Is he still there? Is that who you're working with?
Yes. Yep, he's still there.
Okay.
So he's definitely our conduit, together with the chief of staff, the lieutenant governor. The lieutenant governor is always listening. He's always open to us, so that's a good thing. We do work with the Guam State Clearinghouse. I probably talk to them every week. Yeah.
Okay. Right on, Mayor. Thank you so much for going. We owe you overtime. You went over.
We did.
We got to put in our paperwork, though. Yeah, we owe you. It's going to be a while.
Use local funds.
Yeah, we got to use local.
It's going to take a while. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have a good week.
You too, Mayor. Appreciate it. All right. Man, Chamarita Rages. Chris, what about the Swamp Road? When is the mayor's office at Dedidale going to work on the road over there? Potholes are like the cooking pot for soup. Ovi Kitagwa writes in regarding Talafotful. We still have problems with speeding cars, motorcycles in the village, most especially on San Miguel Street. Rosemary LaGuardia writes, Eagles Field, has that been confirmed? And of course, she's talking about Mayor Taitagui. He had come on and he said, hey, they're looking for somewhere for the Southern Cowboys. They want to build a football field for Southern Cowboys because Eagles Field will probably be taken away. And he said that because of the plan to build a new hospital up at that site. So it's 8:18. We're coming back with the news right here on The Link. Good morning.
Catch SportsLink on the KUAM News Morning Show, The Link, every Friday to hear about the latest in sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. SportsLink, brought to you each week by Cure Alkaline Water, airs every Friday across the multimedia platforms of KUAM. Tune into the broadcast on Breeze 93.9 FM, on KUAM TV 11, live streaming through the KUAM News Facebook page, or view highlights on YouTube, KUAM News Facebook, and Instagram. SportsLink is hosted by Dave Delgado through KUAM Sports, and he will make sure that everyone knows what is happening on the fields, in the gyms, and everywhere in between.
As May is a month to celebrate mothers and everything they do, let's not forget that many parents in our community are struggling to make ends meet and provide for their children with basic necessities. The KUAM Care Force is partnering with the Salvation Army for a very special drive this May, benefiting our precious and most vulnerable in our community. Through Friday, May 28th, we'll be collecting diapers, formula, infant toiletries, baby food, and other new items for infants and toddlers at our KUAM studios in Harmon on weekdays between noon and 4 p.m. Show you care and help families in need this spring. Due to the consideration of our current public health emergency, donations will not be accepted outside of hours specified. Curbside acceptance of donations is acceptable by calling 637-5826 upon arrival.
Steel Athletics has joined the KUAM Care Force as a community partner in the Mama and Nenny's Drive. You may also drop donations to their location in Tamuning on any day of the week. See KUAM.com for designated times.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
We got your 6
at 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6.
Here on Breeze 93.9 FM.
She's too roots in every little thing she do. I swear it happens every time, and every time I lose my mind, she's too rude.
8:21, Monday, May 24th. Pacific Points, Jack in the Box, Cabo Enterprises, East West Rental, and IT&E. Proud to sponsor this Monday, May 24th episode of The Link. Right here on The Breeze and Facebook Live. Good morning. Morning. Good. All right, let's get into it now with the very latest from the KUAM News team. Good morning, Sabrina Salas-Mantanani.
Off it, everybody. Since Friday night, Guam has recorded 10 new COVID positives out of 792 tests. Guam's current COVID case count is now 8,134 officially reported cases, with 139 deaths. 101 cases are active, and 7,894 people have recovered. A total of 9 people are hospitalized, 1 in the ICU, 1 on a ventilator. The CAR score is 0.8. Additionally, a total of 76,509 individuals are fully vaccinated. Guam, in the meantime, received another shipment of the Moderna vaccine. A total of 10,500 doses were received in good condition as part of Guam's May allocation. And with more news and information about the ARP, I guess we'll get to that a little bit later, but get ready for a likely increase to your power bill. Are we going to have that too, Chris, or should we just keep going? All right, how about this? Can we just go to weather? Can we go into the Zoom room? Are we ready to do that? Hi, Landon.
How are y'all doing? Y'all having technical difficulties over there too?
Just a little, you know.
You know, it's one of those Mondays. I've been having computer issues all morning. I can't get into my internet browser, so I've been working in a workstation in the operations area. Now we're losing panels off of our satellite picture, which you'll see that very shortly. But other than that, it's not really a bad morning in the world of weather. So I'm going to turn my camera around. You'll see what I'm talking about. You see a lot of flashing and flickering. That's our tiles. The tiles are not coming through properly I don't know if it's more of a bandwidth issue. We're having a hiccup in our data ingest. So I'll be looking at that later with some of our guys once we get our daytime stuff in here. But out there today, it's not bad at all. Just a few spotty showers passing over the island. Just these light showers, enough to get things wet when they move right on and get back over the waters west of us. And this is going to be the theme for at least another 24 to 36 hours. We've been talking about a wetter pattern coming in the near-term future, and that's going to be realized later this week. So not a bad weekend, just spotty showers, and that's going to continue at least through tomorrow afternoon. But if you see to our east, we have a lot more clouds down here to our southeast. That's going to be bubbling up in our direction by midweek. And then farther to our east, we have a lot more weather out there to speak of. Is it anything significant that we're going to be concerned about? Not so much, and I just lost my computer. There we go. Not so much that we're looking at, but there could be some tropical development in our region. More so, looks like it's going to be to our south and southwest later this week and to the weekend. Right now, that does not look like much of a threat for us, but we will have that moisture increase across our region with more showers and possibly a little uptick in winds and possibly gusty conditions toward the weekend. I'm going to flip over to the water vapor, and there you go. We have all these problems with the tiles coming through. It's like going to a disco or something. We have that little lip of dry air right over the Mariana Islands right here, but all this blue, that's the moisture in the atmosphere, with the white with a very heavy convective action going on, the showers and thunderstorms near Chuuk, Pohnpei, Kosrae, and south of Madra. We had a special weather statement out in effect for the eastern Micronesia Islands last several days, and that's just for the heavy showers and thunderstorms that have been dumping upwards of near a foot of rain over the last 5 or 6 days. So this is going to continue across Micronesia, and eventually this pattern is going to slide westward, and again with some possible tropical development. I'm going to show you the model forecast. Like I said, I don't like to always show what the models are showing in the long range, but I do want to point out there is that variation between the two different models that we look at, the European and the American. This is the American Global Forecast System model showing distinct circulation inbound towards Yap, which is right there. Guam's up here. That is one model solution for later this weekend. This is looking at about Friday night, whereas the European model does not show such a signature south or near Guam. It's more of a open wave trough passing near Yap. So there is that uncertainty, and that's the key word right now, is that uncertainty. We do look to be having a wetter pattern in the week to come, especially toward the weekend, but will there be tropical development? That remains the uncertainty. Last week, we were looking at one of the model solutions, developing something southeast of us and then moving near or north of Saipan, literally today or tomorrow. Obviously, that is not the case. So this is what we have to look at on a daily basis when it comes to model forecasts and the variation and the output that comes from these numerical models. So Chris, go ahead and cue up the slides.
Okay,
we'll look
Landon,
at
we've got 5 slides. Are current. There's something with the internet here, sir.
Okay.
Are they numerically?
Well,
okay, so we got the first 5.
On backup.
Okay, good.
So until if you get the slides up, just let me know. But yeah, otherwise, beautiful start to the work week. Moderate risk of rip currents along east-facing reefs, and the fire danger is moderate. Recent rains have kept that fire danger risk mitigated. The drought information statement continues in effect for northern Marshall Islands, where severe drought persists at Woolwich and Utterick, and a special weather statement is in effect for the eastern Micronesia Islands. So Guam this morning, 79 degrees and increasing. The winds are light out of the east at about 5 to 10 miles per hour across the Mariana Islands. And it feels like it's about the mid to upper 80s, depending on which island in the CMI you're at. Rainfall remains above normal for the month. Yesterday, we had just a nickel of rain here at the airport, 0.05 inches, bringing us to 5.79 inches for the month. And we're still just below average for the year. This is our Facebook post from Saturday. My brother was on shift and he posted this information showing that abundance of moistures across Kosrae and Pohnpei. This pattern is a surface trough across Micronesia that is going to be moving gradually westward, possibly with some tropical development. Right now, all indications suggest that any development will occur south and southwest of Guam, and that could be later this weekend. A lot of uncertainty remains with this, so that is the key that we have to continue to push out publicly. The uncertainty is pretty large right now as far as if and when something develops and then where. But right now, the prognosis for Guam and the CNMI is not that bad. So nothing out there for the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, but we are watching 98W, that's the invest area, and it's rated as sub-low. So it's a very weak, disorganized system, and it is not currently showing on the Joint Typhoon Warning Center tracking map. The polar orbiting satellite showing the winds over the surface. We have that demarcation line right across here, the strong winds to the north, upwards of 20 to 25 knots, just northwest of Kwajalein, but lighter winds across Pohnpei and Koshroy. But we have a lot of showers and thunderstorms, and that will generate some gusts across that area. This is going to eventually shift westward, bringing the stronger winds to us, probably 15 to 20 mile per hour over the islands later this week. Out in the seas, our wave buoy or our wave model does pick up on the stronger winds later this week, showing a spike towards the weekend with seas increasing from 3 to 5 feet combined seas today, building around midweek and then peaking around 6 to 8 feet. So that's going to increase later this week, but for the next 24 to 48 hours, the seas and surf will not be all that bad, with the low tide later this morning of 0.3 feet right about noon, and then a high tide around 2.5 feet at 6:30 this evening. Primarily an east swell, and that's going to continue through the week with the trade winds dominating the scene, but we could see a little bit of an increase from the east-southeast as that disturbance passes to our south. And for the work week weather, mostly sunny today, isolated showers, winds at east 10 to 15 miles per hour, combined seas 3 to 5 feet, wind waves 2 to 3 feet, and winds over the water at 10 to 15 knots. The surf will be moderate risk of rip currents along east-facing reefs at 5 to 7 feet, north and south reefs 2 to 4 feet. Midweek, fair weather continuing through tonight and tomorrow, but becoming mostly cloudy by midweek with isolated to scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms by Wednesday into Thursday, with winds increasing through Thursday into Friday, east 10 to 20 miles per hour and building, particularly on Thursday and Friday. Combined seas 3 to 5 feet today, building to 6 to 8 feet by Wednesday. Wind waves will increase to 3 to 4 feet, and winds of east to 15 to 20 knots, becoming gusty by Friday. And the weekend looks like a little reprieve by the weekend with improving weather this weekend. So again, we do have that wet weather trend developing across the region by midweek, but it looks like it could calm down a little bit by the weekend. One of the models does spin up something, whereas other models does not. It's not quite as aggressive with tropical development. So we'll be watching this closely for the week ahead. And if something does materialize in the region that would be a concern, we'll be communicating it through our social media, our webpage, and also to the local broadcast media.
That includes us. Thank you, Landon.
Always
a lot to unpack with the work week weather on a Monday morning, the National Weather Service. Landon, thank you.
Y'all have a great Monday.
You too, my friend. All right. Yep. 8:32. What did you call it, the weather this morning, Bree?
Probably cloudy skies and isolated showers.
All right. 8:32. Okay, my computer's working now. Let's get back into the news from the KUAM News team. Sabrina Salas-Mantanani, good morning.
Right, and let's go ahead and throw it over to Isaiah again.
Hafide, good morning, everyone. Guahusi Isaiah again with your headlines here on The Link. The governor finally has her money. On Friday, Adalup announced it has received some $553 million in American Rescue Plan funds from the U.S. Treasury and expects another $51 million in capital improvement project funds, which will bring the total to $604 million. Here's more.
The money is part of the $4.5 billion in coronavirus state fiscal recovery funds appropriated to the territories under the ARP. Governor Leon Guerrero issued a news release saying, "Soon we will be unveiling an investment roadmap that benefits everyone and rebuilds a stronger Guam." Details of her spending plan, though, were not released. The governor adds that they continue to examine the interim guidance released last week by the Treasury, which they believe will likely change. In the meantime, Adelup says it is assessing local aid programs to build upon. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio said Guam's improved fiscal outlook now provides us with a stable foundation onto which we can rebuild a thriving economy. Adelup said more information will be announced next week. Shortly after the announcement, Speaker Therese Terlahi released a letter to the governor calling on her to, quote, immediately prepare to distribute the RISE Act checks. These are individual $800 local pandemic relief payments for taxpayers making $40,000 or less. Terlahi notes that the governor has said publicly that she wants to expand the program, but the speaker says it's not necessary to withhold the amount from those in need while trying to figure out the spending plan for the rest of the $553 million. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
An online article published on Defense One suggests that Guam could potentially be host to Afghan allies. The Biden administration has announced U.S. troops withdrawal by September 11th, but according to the article, the administration did not address how they plan to help our allies, such as translators who face threats by the Taliban. The Afghan Allies Act of 2009 authorized a special immigrant visa program, which would allow Afghans who helped U.S. troops bring their families to America. Between now and September, the clock is ticking to assist these individuals under the SIV program. The article suggests that it's time for U.S. officials to airlift these Afghans and their families to an American territory to keep them safe. The issue was brought up during a recent House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing. Florida Representative Brian Mast.
Ms. Freeman, Ambassador, you've heard it from almost everybody on both sides, the concern for those that have worked with the U.S. over the course of these years. I think to put it very bluntly, none of us want to see one of those individuals that have worked with us have their head cut off on the internet. And that's a real threat. That's not hyperbolic.
You may recall it was in 1996 when Andersen Air Force Base was host to Operation Pacific Haven. At the time, hundreds of Kurds from northern Iraq were evacuated in fear of reprisal from Saddam Hussein for aiding the U.S. government. The University of Guam is rolling out a new model of learning called HiFlex that will allow students the option to pick and choose when they like to be on campus or online. Here's more.
The University of Guam will use their summer session as an opportunity to pilot their new protocols.
We're really excited to have students back on the campus.
The campus hasn't seen the hustle and bustle of students since last spring, but UOG Director of Integrated Marketing Communications, Jonas Macapinlac, explains how that's changing come the FNACPO summer classes.
Sessions A, B, and C, there will be classes available in person, face-to-face. And that'll give us a chance to make sure that our protocols that we have in place are working and and give us a chance to make adjustments before more students come in the fall.
Students have the learning options of face-to-face, online, hybrid, and a new format called HiFlex.
A HiFlex option gives students a choice on whether they want to attend class in person on a particular day or online on a particular day.
However, not all classes will have the HiFlex option, but Macapinlac says that many will. If students are interested in the HiFlex format, they're advised to check their course schedule. Macapinlac adds that UOG has had their social distancing protocols since last fall, but putting everything into action was put at a halt due to the second lockdown.
We were getting ready to come back to class here, so we have our social distancing guidelines, sanitation guidelines.
All of which are available for viewing on the UOG website under the continuation of operations plans.
They're being updated right now because of the the new face-to-face guidelines that we're instituting, and so they'll be updated for the fall.
In-person classes are currently spaced out 6 feet apart and sanitized in between class periods. Additionally, students will be asked to provide either proof of COVID-19 vaccination or a weekly COVID-19 test yielding a negative result.
The protocols for that still being established, and by the fall we should have things pretty well in hand.
A recent survey conducted by the university revealed 82% of students claimed to be vaccinated, while employees had a 10% higher rate. Macapenlac says they're in communication with public health about reducing the social distancing down to 3 feet. But until then, the 6-foot protocol remains. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
That's the news for now. We'll see you all at 6 tonight on Primetime.
Get ready for a likely increase to your power bill. GPA says the rising global fuel prices mean there's a need to adjust the fuel surcharge known as the LEAC. The power company has tried to hold rates down during the pandemic, but it can do so no longer. Nestor Lecanto reports.
In a presentation Thursday before the CCU, GPA General Manager John Benavente said the fuel cost under recovery has ballooned to about $30 million, and he laid out a range of scenarios for the CCU to consider. Based on the average monthly 1,000 kilowatt residential consumption, Benavente said if they don't attempt any recovery, the fuel increase alone means the average bill rises from $204 to $249. If GPA opts for 50% recovery in the next 6-month LEAC cycle, the bill will increase to $274. And if GPA goes for full recovery, the bill will go to $299. CCU Chairman Joey Duenas.
At the end of this period, you expect an under recovery of around $30 million.
Correct.
And if you're going to recover that and pay for the fuel over the next 6 months, you need to raise it by 20.4 cents.
That's raise it to 20.4.
To 20.4.
Yes.
From
correct.
the current 11 cents.
Benavente adds that because of fuel price uncertainty, they need to consider recovery now.
What scares me is that it continues to rise, and although they projected it's going to straighten up, well, Morgan Stanley said that also previously. So what I'm concerned is that at least if we're above our cost, and so that's why I was leaning more towards the 16 cents. What you're looking at is a $45 to $57 increase on an average residential customer. I think my recommendation would be right in that range.
The CCU will meet on Thursday to approve the recommendation. It would still need to go to the Public Utilities Commission for final approval. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
That's correct.
And with your news in Chamorro, here is Ken Concepcion.
Buenos tanapades to get sunto bitunod sa morgan ni KUAM News. Presenta ni Familian Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank. Ma-report ni John Information Center gi isablo na uno na empleo ni Tamuning Elementary na eskwela sa positibo i-test niya para coronavirus. I-Departamento ni Edukasyon dan i-Departamento Salud Publiko sa matuto ni contact tracing para ma-identifika sa parufan man-notifika at di siya manihod gi adyo na empleo. Después ufan ma-quarantina pat man ma-isolate adyo siya asa ki man siguri public health na malika todo. Ilugat siya into eskwela sa manafan gasgas sa man ma-disinfect. Ma-continue at ma-konsigi eskwela imababa niya ni duputsi. Yotro sunto po di pesti COVID-19 drive-thru na tinest ang binakuna na klinik siya sa paremamela na Merkules gi 26 gi Marzo ang kada Merkules hasta ki 16 gi Hunyo gi Metcon Lancero gi Talan Marine Drive gi sa Dededo desde las 9 gi Egan hasta las 12 gi Taluani. Ites siya sa paromatsogi ni Departamento ng Salud Publiko sa Servicio Social. Siyempre para minaneha este sa Guam National Guard para matest ang para mabakuna o nesesita litrato na sedulas. Derisoto ni test sa sampi manai au guihi. Taza ay parofan mates sa parofan pasehu sanggi isla guihi. Losina on schedule as na serbisyo kumuun agang Public Health Northern Region Community Center gi 635 patsais. Gimas, taza pa mabakuna ni Adzi Amod kontra coronavirus gi Department of Youth Affairs. Guahagwi na lugar just na minor edad da todo mang kwalifika parofan mabakuna. Lo uno ha guihi malago kumamanay permiso ni manaynanya. Gi Webes makonfirma ni DYA na Departamento de Salud Publiko para mabakuna gi Jim Guihi gi Ibetnes at zima apreba ni Centers for Disease Control na amod Pfizer. I spokesman para DYA si Daniel Camacho ilingan na 4 gi 13 na manay na ni menor edad man mahago. Gi 4 unwa ang mapreba para mabakuna ipatgon niya. I Departamento sa man requesta suplikan amod bakuna para manalisto ni enfermera Guihi sa janggin maresibe March talo na manay na ni man manay autoridad para ST. Ginikoti, Ma-file kaso ni nabusang patgon dyan din nasquido gi District Court kontrong ginin maestron substitute gi George Washington High School dyan ni gobernamentong guhan por insidente ni masusedi maski 20 anos na tempo tati. Iman susu sa 37 anos na edad no ma-identifika na SC para pernite sa atake si Benjamin Leon Guerrero II na minalesta dyan ni nabusugwi ani menor edad niya ani muskakilagwihi. Si Leon Guerrero sa coach para iwagon bola gwihin na tempo. Según el dokumento ni Corte, gi 1998 nasakan anay 10 grado ipadgon. Itutuhon niya ng grasya nulusuto mo si nabusong bus ni si SC as Leon Guerrero gifinak po wagon bola. Sa pudi nataka dyan ni nabuso timo eskwela biktima gisigyanti dia at isfere gwilusutumos para otro na eskwela. Para todo matsagwan niya, manggagagoy biktima 2,000,000 pesos para maapasig ginenadya at satsakisiya. Giutumo, Diyos na kumpanyan otro banda na lugar siya Fereki Guam sa man premio a kontratan militar para sa Bisyong Culture Resource Management gwinigit sa Guahan, Hawaii, sa Ninote Marianas na isla siya, i Garcia and Associates ganing California na kumpanya, i International Archaeological LLC gin Hawaii, da ni Pacific Consulting Services gin Hawaii lokwi, sa mamanayas tayo madso gi 2026 na sakan para manafunadan ni Tetsu niya. Ia kontrata siya sa total 49,000,000 pesos na 70% gi todo Tetsu niya sa para matsogi gwinigit sa Guahan. Para Guam News Network, Guam Sikin Conception. Yasunto ifinut sa muro sa presenta sa ninafato ni Familia Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank.
June makes the best malasadas in Hawaii, a fact not lost on Daryl, whose brother Byron is cooking the onaga he caught at a secret fishing spot with his girlfriend Malia, who used to work for the Shave Ice Guy, whose second cousin Vince drives the school bus ridden by Calais, whose auntie makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. Everything here is connected, and with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances, and it all starts with yes.
All right, welcome back to the link. We're going to head straight into the Zoom room where we have Mary Rose, the president of the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Mary, if we could just start with, I don't know if you heard about this whole Afghan refugee thing, but have you had any conversation, information, or anything to come your way? Because we know you're in the loop.
Yeah, I've heard from a couple of people, but I think the most important thing is to find out whether or not this is, going to actually happen and who's really going to be in charge of that program should they get transferred to Guam for that transition. So I'm assuming it'll probably be led by the federal government, but of course with the cooperation of the government of Guam. And so regardless, we'll still need to wait until we hear officially from Joint Region Marianas and the government of Guam.
Let me ask you that because we had Carlotta Leon Guerrero, the governor's chief advisor for regional and military affairs, on this morning. She said the governor had not been contacted yet, but they have put out their feelers. I kind of want to say the last similar-ish situation we had to this would have been the housing of the TR sailors, because that was kind of like a federal-local partnership, I mean, if you will. Do you see similarities there? And do you think that if the governor hasn't been contacted yet, that maybe we're not even part of the equation officially?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that anything, even in conversation, I think that the governor's office would certainly still at least have, visibility on it and know that things are at least being discussed, not just only at Congress, but with Secretary of State and all of the individuals involved, especially when it's going to come to the funds related to housing, lodging, feeding refugee camps. I think it's going to be really important to determine whether it's going to remain on base somewhere in a location or if they're going to lodge in the hotels. But it's a lot that we have to manage because depending on the timing, we do usually have a couple of things, prepared with regards to military in June, July, even August, and then also with the timing of our Airbnb program for the expats when we're going to be promoting that once the governor blesses, she's already set aside $1 million with GVB and 1,500 vaccines. And so, we only have a limited amount of space at the hotels, and we currently have military staying there. So there's going to have to be a lot of coordination and cooperation with each other.
And it's also a lot of people. 70,000, I don't even...
Yeah.
That's almost half the population.
Yeah, and it depends for how long as well, right? It's not just an initial transfer. It's also a time frame. How long is it going to be, and how long will it take?
So from your perspective, there is definitely, we would definitely know. It wouldn't be like the military wouldn't tell, the people of Guam or the governor that, we're having all these Afghan refugees come.
Yeah, I think so. Every time, we do have also Vera Topasnia with the governor's office. And so she is that liaison. And we do meet with the group with Joint Region Marianas and Navy Base Guam, especially with regards to these kinds of activities in the region. And so we at least get awareness of what's happening and how to prepare for that, especially when it comes to the lodging requirements. So we do get involved at that level, but I know that this is all preliminary, and I certainly would want to wait for federal guidance on that, especially with regards to funding and allocation of resources, as in people.
Yeah. You mentioned Airbnb. What's the latest?
Yeah, that's Governor, GVB's term. With, I know that you've had Uncle Carl on, as well as Jerry and other people talking about it. It's certainly a great program that we've been wanting for some time now. I know that GHRA and the Guam Chamber of Commerce, we met with GVB to talk about a lot of the interest that we've been getting, not just from expats, but the different chambers of commerce around the region, and also dependents of a lot of U.S. citizens. So it's really important that, as people look for equity with vaccines, not just in developing countries, there are a lot of countries that are developed nations that it's a slow rollout, right, of those vaccines, including Japan. And so it's really important that we provide a greater service to our nation, especially if Guam is the tip of the spear. We can certainly be that resource for a lot of people around our region, and also use this opportunity to really showcase what Guam has done as an island, as a community, in really getting everybody vaccinated and working towards herd immunity and having the ability to get the vaccines. I think getting an increase in vaccines will be important, especially if we're going to service that group. Right now, only 1,500 has been set aside, but it would be great to even request for more. There are over 500,000 expats just in the Asia Pacific region. That's not counting dependents, U.S. dependents.
Well, that's cool to get that number. I haven't heard that one before. So this, and just with the fanfare that we had for that one guy who came to get vaccinated with the Airbnb, right. I remember asking Uncle Carl, well, how much spend are we talking about here? And he was like, well, boy, they're going to be stuck here for 14 days. So,
well, they would certainly pay for their program. The cost of the $1 million that the governor has agreed to, or at least actually it's the GVB board has approved the $1 million. That's really more for marketing and outreach, really public relations and marketing, to promote this program to all of the key source markets and to the AmChams in the region. So the expats and even in the future, any foreign national, they would pay for their vaccine program. The vaccine itself will be free, but of course, any of the concierge services, the lodging, the food, all related to their stay, whether it's a 3 to 4 day stay or they're going to stay the full 28 days. Those packages are being developed right now, and we're also developing additional health and safety protocols because, as you know, quarantine is waning. And so they are bringing that down as the request is being lowered with the new protocols, quarantine protocols. So we're expecting that either a couple of facilities would be identified or public health would approve certain hotels to serve as designated hotels for this expat program.
But wouldn't their lodging be paid for anyway if you came in unvaccinated and at least right, at least 6
Yeah, because if you come in unvaccinated, they stick you in the quarantine.
Yeah, at least 6 days would be, paid for with the food. So you're
that's what we're currently putting together with GBB. And so I know that they're going to be presenting the options to the governor as well as to public health. And so, the program really ideally was for residents, but I know that we've been covering everybody's quarantine. But I think with the governor's new quarantine protocols, that will change eventually. So we have to be able to put together packages for this expat program or in the future for nationals who'd come to Guam, should that be approved.
I mean, is this time sensitive, Mary, to get this up and running? Because, if you look around the world, vaccination's picking up, right?
Right. There's only a short amount of window, right? Like you said, where people will, that pent up demand is there. And, but, I think they're having to balance, still continuing to get over that number that they want to get to. I know that we have over 70,000 immunized, but they also lowered the number to 12 to 15. And so that population has only gotten bigger as far as total to be vaccinated. Regardless, though, I think that they're balancing the interests of the local community and making sure we hit herd immunity within the time frame that has been that we put out, but also at the same time looking at the opportunities around us, like you said. But I don't think that most of the expats would expect that all of their costs would be covered. I know that they've already given information that they would definitely pay for that, especially as we're lowering our quarantine requirements, but also as far as number of days, but also with regards to if they're going to continue to have quarantine facilities in the near future.
Is that what you're hearing?
Say that again, Bree?
No, is that what you're hearing, that we might not have these government quarantine facilities in the
it may
future?
not, the demand isn't there as much with one facility, but remember in our pandemic plans, every hotel should be really able to stand up quarantine with a couple of floors. And that's what we did at the beginning of this pandemic last year, March, April, when we still had flights. There were certain hotels who served as quarantine facilities. As long as they had reservations, we needed to ensure GBB and GHRA coordinated with those hotels who actually had quarantine floors.
What are you hearing, though, about doing away with the quarantine facilities? Because I think are the contracts in place until September? Do you know offhand if there's flexibility with our ability to pull out of those?
I know that the contract is still in place, but I don't know when it expires actually, because it had to be extended.
Yeah.
And so, but regardless, again, we still have to go through the protocols because we really have to prepare on a going forward basis. If we are to open this up and vaccinate expats and or foreign nationals at some point, we need to prepare all of the hotels to operate their pandemic plans should they need to identify quarantine floors. So the QFAC and the ISOFAC, they're in place today, but at some point it'll continue. The demand will decrease over time.
You guys having a vaccination clinic? What is it, tomorrow?
Yes, we have our last scheduled vaccination clinic. That's tomorrow, May 25th at the Hyatt Regency Guam from 4 to 7. We have a few slots open if people are interested. and it would be really great to have a full house. We've been doing really great the last 2 months. And what's really incredible is that some business groups have been able to get their own individual vaccine clinics. So I know Dr. Wen made a presentation to the Guam Chamber of Commerce and has put that request out to other employer groups who want to have on-site vaccine clinics. And so there have been several companies that have taken them up on that offer. And so we've now targeted towards individual companies and now even the schools. So we just had the FD vaccine clinic last week Friday. So it's really good that we're getting directly to homes and to schools and to places of work.
What about with the GHRA staff? Do you have any like numbers, percentages? Have you guys hit that wall that you hit where it's just the vaccine hesitancy is all that's left?
Actually, we've seen the increase, right? So we've moved that dial from about 35% when we first started, upwards of high 60% to some hotels are at 85%. And so we're continuing to see that increase there. But as you're stating, it will start to peter off because certain individuals just don't want to get it, or eventually they, they're waiting until more information is available, or they're waiting to see how their colleagues or families do with it. So I think that we've started to really change interest from individuals in wanting to get the vaccine. And I think by doing it at the work site, it has only increased people's interest in wanting to get vaccinated because they have, their coworkers getting it. And now that they can bring their families and children to the sites as well, I think has been very motivational for a lot of them. So we're definitely, we've seen an increase, but, as you're alluding to, it will start to plateau. And so right now, what we've been talking about with the front office are incentives and how can we put together incentive programs. And so one of the things that Doc is going to be launching later this week is the QR code. Anyone who's gone through our vaccine clinics and anyone who's interested can use the QR code. And so we as GHRA are going to be rolling this out. We want businesses to use the QR code to also show the date of your immunization. So that way, if you had to distinguish guests, let's say for an event or any kind of entry into an event, convention, or even hotel or restaurant, you actually have the information which stores not only their immunization record as an image, but it also has the data that's verified on WebIZ, which is what public health uses.
Okay. Anything in closing?
We're really trying to encourage more people to sign up for the WTTC. It's really important that we get more businesses in that program because it really does help reinforce the public health and safety protocols with public health, but also gives a nice baseline for GVB and GHRA to go out and promote these businesses as meeting the standards of health and safety protocols, so we can use that in our promotions as we continue to promote Guam as a safe destination. And so GHRA actually put in a grant to GITA in one of their Series 4 small business grants for nonprofits. And so we're hoping to be awarded that. We are looking forward to working also with UOG and GVB to further promote WTTC and even do training. But we did get a grant recently from GITA, and it's worth $50,000. And so you can contact GHRA. I know that we've been promoting the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, and there are a lot of businesses who did apply from Guam. That window will be closing this week. But if you haven't gotten it in already, but the funds have been exhausted pretty much if you don't have your application in. But we did get a grant for $50,000 to mentor restaurants. So whether you're a food truck, catering business, a small business restaurant, standalone restaurant, we did get GITA money so that we can mentor you, and we have some experts that are willing to work with you and work with you on different kinds of things, whether it's inventory, menu, restaurant management, promotions, how to work with social media, the new delivery services, things like that. So we're going to be announcing that soon, but we did receive that funding. So those are the things we've been working on recently outside of vaccine clinics. And so we're excited to be launching the QR code soon with AMC. And we've asked the Women's Chamber and the Guam Chamber of Commerce for their support. I'm going to be reaching out with the Korean Association, the Chinese Merchants Association, as well as other groups that trade groups, especially with our Asian community. I think it's really important that they use the QR code, but also get the training they need for health and safety protocols as we continue to move forward in working together as a community to stay safe.
Thank you, Mary, for your time this morning.
Thank you. And thanks for allowing me to give an update on where we're at with our reopening.
You got it. We want to meet your dog next time, okay?
Maybe.
Okay, all right. Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay,
That's the rule on the link. If your animal makes noise during the interview, then you got to bring him out and introduce him.
He's just louder than me, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you want that.
All right, Mary, take it easy. Hey, it's 9:04. Quick break. Chief of Police Steve Ignacio next right here on the link. Good morning.
KUAM's
June makes the best malasadas in Hawaii, a fact not lost on Daryl, whose brother Byron is cooking the onaga he caught at a secret fishing spot with his girlfriend Malia, who used to work for the Shave Ice Guy, whose second cousin Vince drives the school bus ridden by Calais, whose auntie makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. Everything here is connected, and with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances, and it all starts with yes.
As May is a month to celebrate mothers and everything they do, let's not forget that many parents in our community are struggling to make ends meet and provide for their children with basic necessities. The KUAM Care Force is partnering with the Salvation Army for a very special drive this May, benefiting our precious and most vulnerable in our community. Through Friday, May 28th, we'll be collecting diapers, formula, infant toiletries, baby food, and other new items for infants and toddlers at our KUAM studios in Harmon on weekdays between noon and 4 p.m. Show you care and help families in need this spring. Due to the consideration of our current public health emergency, donations will not be accepted outside of hours specified. Curbside acceptance of donations is acceptable by calling 637-5826 upon arrival.
Steel Athletics has joined the KUAM Care Force as a community partner in the Mama and Nanny's Drive. You may also drop donations to their location in Tamuning on any day of the week. See KUAM.com for designated times.
I was tired of my lady. We've been together too long. Like the one I recorded of our favorite song. So while she lay there sleeping, I read the paper in bed. And in the personals column, I saw a letter that read, "If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, if you're not into yoga, and if you have half a brain, if you like making love at midnight in the dunes of the Cape, I'm the love that you look for. Write to me and escape." By my lady, I know that sounds kinda mean, but me and my old lady have fallen into the same old routine. So I wrote to the river
9:08.
to get her personal dad. Though I'm no much
What time is it?
It's 9:08.
Oh, 9:08.
Yeah,
All right. It's
thanks.
crime time. And we have got the Chief of Police, Steve Ignacio. We're checking in with him. They had a big press conference last week about Project U. which is some good news out of all of the crazy stuff that's been going on. So let's just start there, Chief, about Project U.
Okay, yeah, so Project U is a collaboration it's a program under our Safe Schools Initiative, and it's a collaboration of many different government and not-for-profit organizations. So tonight is our orientation with all the 12 youth that have been selected for the program and that will be participating. So we're excited. The governor and the lieutenant governor will be there tonight to address them as well. So we can't wait to get this off the ground. First week is next week.
So tell me, what are they going to be doing after they get their training? What's next?
Oh, they're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. You know, we have different theme days. So I think Monday is Mentor Mondays. There's forget what Tuesday is. We have Wellness Wednesday. That's our Guam Behavioral Health. They'll be coming in and talking to them about different aspects of mental health and well-being. I believe Thursday is Trades Thursdays, so they'll be over at Guam Trades Academy. We have a partnership with them, and I teach them how to operate, basic hand tools, do some rigging, and a little bit of HVAC and stuff. And then I think it's Fun Fridays with Thrive Coalition or Manietlo, one of the two. And then, they'll be doing a bunch of different sports activities. We have an opportunity on Mentor Mondays with GPD. I believe we're going to schedule them, if weather permits, to go on a boat ride with our different our boats that we have in the fleet, and just doing a bunch of other fun stuff. Maybe even highway patrol, hook them up and show them how a laser instrument works and how we do speed traps and stuff. So yeah, we're excited. I hope the kids are excited. Our partners are very excited. First ever summer youth camp for children, sponsored by the Guam Police Department.
Well, we're excited to see. I know that you guys are going to have a presence online with social media, right? So we can kind of follow their journey. So good luck as you guys prepare for this summer camp. And as you mentioned today, the first training will be today. So
Yep, we're excited. We're ready to go.
Yeah, Chief, I wanted to ask, there was a bill regarding a retirement for law enforcement. Are you testifying on that, or any thoughts?
This is Senator Pito Talai's.
I have seen the press release from Senator Pito Talai's office. I haven't read the entire bill yet. I think the bill was just proposing $75,000 to do the study for law enforcement. He had a very good press release, and he identified how some of the other states or jurisdictions have a different retirement program for those in public safety and law enforcement. I read with interest every once in a while. There are some jurisdictions, I believe like the Sandy Hook shooting spree. There was officers that were, retired because of the trauma they were exposed to. And, currently, you can join the Guam Police as early as 18, 19 years old, go through training. But then you're going to have to work until you're 62 years old in the Guam Police Department to retire. And I think that's just, I just don't agree with that. It's 40 plus years of work. I mean, you can do 20 years of work for other federal governments and retire. And you can work for 20 years in the military, retire, come out. There were a couple of officers in my training academy who were retired military. After 20 years, came in, joined the Guam Police Department, and retired again 20 years, under the old plan. So, right. You can have two careers basically with just one joining the Guam Police Department in today's age. So yeah, I mean, the other thing to consider is, 62-year-old policeman running around or trying to run around to chase an 18-year-old burglar. It just doesn't equate. I don't think it's going to happen. And so, we need to look at, really what is reasonable, considering what we experience, the trauma that we're exposed to. I mean, how many other jobs, like maybe fire ourselves, maybe nurses and doctors, But really, how many other jobs are you exposed to a decapitated human being, right? Or the trauma of having to deal with a crash scene, of an auto pedestrian. Those are very traumatic events. Those are things that we're exposed to. Those things take its toll on you both physically, but also mentally. And so, having to hang in there for 40 plus years, having to be exposed to that kind of trauma, I look forward to the bill. I look forward to the hearing, but more importantly, I look forward to the study and see if if it's feasible for the public safety, law enforcement in particular, to have a retirement plan.
Just for clarification, Chief, under the old plan, is it also 62 years old, or is it just under this hybrid plan?
No, I think it's just under this hybrid. No, it's just under the 401k plan. The hybrid plan is a little bit different. It kind of mimics, is my understanding, it kind of mimics the old retirement plan. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't heard when the public hearing is for the bill. But just to give a couple of examples, because you mentioned that it was something that Senator Pito Terlahi pointed out, that so he said that he introduced Bill 137 because every single state in the country has a separate retirement consideration for firefighters, public safety employees, and other uniformed personnel in recognition of the physically demanding nature of the work. Workers under the new hybrid plan in Guam cannot retire until the age of 62, which is one of the oldest ages for retirement for public safety employees in the nation. So, for example, in Hawaii, state and local police officers, firefighters, other public safety personnel, they can retire at age 55 with 25 years of service, or 60 years of age with 10 years of service. In California, law enforcement, fire suppression, state highway patrol, conservation officers, youth authority officers can retire at the age of 50 with at least 5 years of service. So those are just a couple. He has actually a long list of other jurisdictions.
I wonder if this kind of begs a question that we need to look at the retirement plan overall, and you know what I mean, as a whole, because it's definitely different than what it, like, my grandpa's retirement was way different than what's going on now. I mean, for both law enforcement, obviously, and everyone else.
Right. Yeah. And I do know. I think I'm not an expert in retirement. I'm an expert in government finance. Throughout the whole gamut of government. But I do know that retirement plans are a costly, or are a big cost to governments. And I think there are some governments in some states and jurisdictions whose retirement plans have actually either caused a big burden financially on the governments because they have to pay these pensions or whatever the liabilities are. But I root for my officers. I advocate for my officers, and anything that we can do to shorten that retirement period, because, like I said, I don't think it's reasonable to think that a 62-year-old police officer should be working. I mean, I think 55, maybe a little bit around that age is acceptable. I think in the federal government, so just an example, the latest you can join any of the federal government law enforcement agency is 37. And the most you can work is up to the age of 57, right? So 20 years. So something to consider. At least that's my basic understanding. Right. In some of these job announcements that I read.
Yeah. Chief, I wanted to follow up on a couple of other R words aside from retirement, but you had resignation, retention, recruitment. Those are some of the things we talked about the last time you were on. And there was a public hearing from Senator James Moylan's bill. And you also mentioned that there was supposed to be, I think, a Hay study that you were informed that Adelup would be commencing at some point, where there would be this prioritization of public safety personnel and this wage compensation study. So, first of all, has anybody else resigned from GPD?
Well, in the past 2 weeks, I signed an additional 7 resignations. In the past 2 or 3 weeks, at least 2 or 3 weeks, I've signed at least 7 resignations that I can think of. And seven people is one entire shift at one of the precincts. That's what we call 115. 1 supervisor, 1 dispatch officer, and 5 patrol officers.
What are some of the reasons, Chief?
Better pay is the top one. One actually put down he's leaving to a federal government job because of better pay, better retirement is what he talked about, and better benefits. I've mentioned this before. I talked to Chief J.Q. Canasta from the airport, the executive manager. I was looking for a little bit people to offset some of the shortages because of that COVID outbreak that we had down in the ISOFAC. And he goes, Chief, I'd love to help you, man, but I lost 11 people to Navy police. And that kind of floored me because I thought I was the only one losing people, but he lost 11. I think he said 11 or 12. I've probably lost about 6 people in total, probably since the beginning of the year, sometime late last year, to Navy police. So I think what we're hearing is that the Navy police, of course, is posturing up because of the new Marine Corps base. They have a lot more footprint, and so they need a lot more people. Somebody shared with me a link to a job that the Navy police was offering for a police instructor. They're offering $60,000 starting pay for a police instructor. And, that's for a job here locally. So, it's just very interesting times. If we don't step up, we don't start to offer a better pay for our police officers, we're going to lose them. And Customs and Border Protection is one other place where I've probably lost about 5 or 6 officers over the past 2 years because, there's a crisis at the border and they need more officers. And so, they're just picking up people. And I lost one just recently. He's one of the 7 that resigned. No sooner did he turn in his resignation, one of his fellow officers that worked in the same office with him says, I have an interview with them. So I'm going to take some time off to take an interview. So it's really crazy time.
Maybe we need to send some of the boys over to Uncle Sam and be like, Alpha Gatson, why you keep taking our guys?
Well, it's just like anything else, right? We all lose people to other jobs, whether they pay more, better work environment, better equipment. I don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons, but I think the most common reason is better pay.
Right.
But what do you expect when you're only paying a police officer $11 an hour? When he comes in as a recruit, $11 to put on a whole bunch of equipment and go out there and risk his life and and not know if he's going to get shot at or he's going to have to draw his gun and shoot at somebody. That's $11 an hour. When he graduates a year later, he gets $14 an hour. I'm still about $2 less than the Navy police. I think their starting pay is about 16 some an hour. Port police officer makes $18 an hour starting.
Wow.
Police officer 1.
Dang.
So if Dr. Fee was very very, very good at pointing that out, and I didn't know that until Dr. Fee, one of my special projects coordinators, started to look into these pay disparities.
Yeah.
And he found that out, and we were just blown away.
Well, I feel like people are resigning right now with this information coming out. But Chief, that's crazy to have the pay discrepancy between the local and the federal government, but even within the local government to see that wide of a pay disparity, agency to agency, it's nuts.
Yeah, it is. But again, the Port Authority gets to set their own pay scale, because they have their own the law that allows them to do that.
Mm-hmm. So you said 7. How much total since January would you say have resigned or retired from GPD?
I don't have the numbers in front of me. I definitely can. I'll WhatsApp you and let you know how many people resigned.
Anything
from January to present.
Anything new with drug test results?
I know we did more than 115 went from my last report. As recent as last week, there were still additional drug tests to be done. I don't have the final number, but what I do know is that all drug tests completed, all have come back negative.
Okay. All right.
So that's a good thing.
Okay, Chief.
Anything else? Anything else?
Anything juicy?
No.
Oh,
No, not here.
sorry, Chief, just before, because I know you got a meeting, but AG said that he's coming up with a deadly force policy. Any comment on that?
I know. So last week we had a meeting between myself, the AG, and the other law enforcement agencies on Guam. And what we did is we have a draft MOU that we're reviewing for us to affix our signature to at a later time. But what it is really is that we're going to use the same process and procedure that we did in the Xavier Tatalto shooting. So, doing that independent investigation by the AGs, us moving forward, on our internal affairs investigation, calling in an outside agency if we need to do so, like we did with that case we called in Customs to assist and take the lead, and of course, we did that press release last week, from the U.S. Attorney's Office that they've done a review of the case and they're not going to move forward at this point.
All right. Well, thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Chief.
You're welcome. Take care. Have a good morning.
Okay,
Stay
Chief.
safe.
Have a good meeting.
Adios.
Right on. 9:25. Well, there you go. Wow. So what? Starting GPDs 11, ports 18. That's nuts. I mean, there ought to be a law.
Well, I think that's what Senator Moylan's bill's doing to kind of address the disparity between,
Right.
the compensation for the various law enforcement agencies.
Right. Well, then once you do that, everyone else is going to be like, oh, what about us? And then you got another 5440 on your hands. Oh, it's 9:25. We're going to take a quick break and come back with more of The Link next. Good morning.
Looking for TV.
Make sure you're connected. The writing's on the wall. 'Cause if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall.
Connection is a human necessity, one we need today more than ever. And with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances. And it all starts with yes.
I decided to get vaccinated because just thinking about all the lives lost from COVID and everyone on island that contracted the illness, I realized that I need to do my part, not just to protect myself, but our community. And I also realized we're still not out of the woods with variants that are out there. I want to be safe, and I want to keep my family safe. I'm Tyler Matinani, and I'm a proud member of the vaccination.
Join the vaccination. Scan and plan. For more information, go to KUAM.com.
Addis Trust and Investment, location, service, trust, is a proud partner of the KUAM Care Force.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link. Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
KUAM
KOAM Communications and Denny's Guam presents Mamapreneurs, a special multi-platform series throughout the month of May showcasing mothers who are also local entrepreneurs in our community. In commemoration of Mother's Day, during weekdays in May, we'll feature daily profiles of these multitasking mamas and their businesses. Additionally, on KOAM News Primetime every Monday in May, we'll showcase a different enterprising mamapreneur. Check out our online directory of all these businesses as well on KOAM.com. And if you know a mamapreneur we should feature, send us a message on social media or email executiveproducer@KOAM.com. Mamapreneurs is brought to you by Denny's. Guam's Diner is always open.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Help us celebrate the class of 2021. KUAM wants to help you celebrate this touchstone moment in the lives of your graduates. For the months of May and June, we will flood the social media pages of KUAM with photos and well wishes for the class of 2021 grads. Log on to KUAM.com to submit photos and brief messages or captions. Then look for your special grad on KUAM Instagram and the Facebook pages. From all of your friends here at KUAM, congratulations, seniors!
Breeze 93.9 FM.
Nandito hamzu todos kislaku. Hoguha kirida ikwinaizaku. Hoguha nina inju. Hoguha bonita senguinaizaku. Hoguha todo e tempo.
Yep, good talk there with Chief Ignacio. I mean, remember back in the day, I mean, people still want to get into GovGuam. Don't worry, yeah. People are dying to get into GovGuam. But the retirement used to be like the thing that, you know what I mean? And, well, Chief Ignacio raising some interesting points about not just the retirement, Bree, but it just seems like it's everything. We're trying to retain these officers and law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the pay, it's the retirement. It's the
7 officers in the past 2 weeks, and that was, well, did we talk to him 2 weeks ago?
It's been a few weeks since he came on.
Yeah, and so before that he said that he had had other resignations, and a lot of them are going to work for
the federal.
Yeah, the Navy police, I believe, because they're hiring.
And gone are the days, you know, there used to be back in the day, and maybe this is just anecdotal, but back in the day it's like people wanted to work in the government because of the public service, and you know, I'm sure the pay was higher back then compared to the cost of living now, but that's the real issue, is that the pay hasn't caught up to what it costs to live here on Guam, which is, it's crazy expensive.
Yeah, and so even for what he pointed out, like at the Port Authority, they're getting paid like the Port Police, $18 an hour versus a GPD, the starting is $11 an hour.
Right, and yet we pay people $65,000 a year to post crap on Instagram for the governor. It just does not sit well with me. And it's a conversation, we could say that all day, because this government chooses to place priority in these political hires. That's just it. No one ever says, oh, these political hires, they don't get paid enough, you know, man, we're losing them. No one ever says that. No one. No one ever says, oh, man, we lost our own political hire, digital engagement, whatchamacallit, to the private sector, because the private sector don't pay 65 Gs. And I don't know, to me, that's part of the problem, obviously. If you look at the salaries and the pay of the Adelup staff, the cabinet, even the senator staffers, by and large, they make way more than these crucial professional positions that we're struggling not just to fill, but to maintain people in. But that's the way it is. It is what it is. And it's something you guys are totally comfortable with because you keep electing the same idiots into office to do the same crap, and they wonder why we're all upset about it. But it's got to be like a major overhaul, Bria. I mean, it's not just about more pay. It's just about everything. I mean, the equipment they need. And you know, you look at something like the police department, there's like things that you hear about or you see about police departments in the States. I mean, it's not only are we underfunded, but just like the equipment, the things they need to kind of like solve murders and crimes. And don't tell me that all of these unsolved crimes, it's not all about like the quality of the police work, but it's also the resources that we just don't have. Yet we got Bula resources for political hires. I'm just going to say it because it can be said.
I know.
Dude, it's frustrating. I mean, we give $10,000 raises to people at Adelup. $10,000 raises.
Yeah.
And then we get.
And I don't think their lives are on the line every single day.
No, they're not. Yeah. They don't even work every single day. God, man, that's just so frustrating. It's beyond frustrating. It just pisses me off, really. Because you get someone like the chief to come on, and he's just, 7 cops quitting. There can't be some kind of like we just need to really look like these political hires. The bar, it's like they're getting paid way too much. Way too much. You could minus 10, 15 grand off of these cabinet members and these special assistants' salaries, and they would still be doing very good. You minus 10, 15 grand, they're going to be making the same as the digital engagement guy, which is reasonable.
Or you could be found unsuitable to lead an agency,
but
get another job.
Here we go.
At the governor's office.
Right.
To run or to oversee CIP projects that you may or may not have, or have limited experience at, and get paid $70,000.
Yeah, so Sabrina's basically talking about Jack Hattig. And this is just, to me, and this just to me shows that they don't give a damn what you guys think. They don't care. They don't care because you guys are going to be getting your stimulus, you're going to be getting all your federal money, so they think that you don't give a damn about what's going on in the government because you're too busy, doing whatever you're doing. But with this case of Jack Hattig, like, here's a guy they put to run the Chamorro Land Trust. The former chair, Pika Farron, tried to get rid of him because everyone on the board thinks he's doing a crappy job. But they couldn't because the governor got his back, and we all know what happened to Pika Farron. Meanwhile, they bring on a new chair, and they basically say that Jack had to hit the road. Jack, you're not good enough to work here. And so you would think, like, if you got a board and they say you're not good enough to work here, that's it. You know what I mean? God. But instead, it's almost like you get a promotion. Less responsibility, a little bit less pay. But going from the hot seat of the Chamorro Land Trust to the cool confines of Adelup to be a capital improvements, what is it?
Who cares?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then they say it out, and it's just done. It's done. Just done. That's it. Anyway, it's 9:38. Yeah, it just pisses me off, man. Pisses me off. Their priorities. The nurses, the teachers, the cops.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you mentioned teachers. I did wanted to give a shout out to them because, we're giving out a big shout out to the class of 2021, but I also wanted to just give a shout out to all the teachers because this year certainly was very challenging for all of them. So good job, BIBA teachers.
BIBA, 9:38. Let's do Burger King's Cover Me. Yeah, but that is just that's some BS. You know what I mean? Can you imagine, though, how good the governor would have looked if she was like, sorry, Jack, man, but if you're not good enough for Chamorro Land Trust, then you're not good enough for Adelup. Can you imagine? We would be like, wow, whoa, good call, look this, whoa, that's wow. Dude, can you believe that? Way to go. Way to hold your own people accountable. But nah, that's not what happened. Nope, not at all. Instead, it was like, come here, boy, come. Never mind, come. He doesn't even have experience overseeing huge capital improvement projects. He barely had experience altering land agents' documents. And you go put a guy who leaves a department under those circumstances where he's accused of crimes, where the situation is so corrupt that they got to go into executive session just to even talk about it so the public doesn't flip out. And then you reward the guy with a, man, that's, I wish we could get him on. Well, that ain't going to happen, though. Anyway, 9:39. For real now, we're going to do Cover Me. It's frustrating. Man. But, you know, to quote a phrase, it is what it is. It's 9:39 now. Cover Me. Brought to you by our friends at Burger King, where, hey, guess what?
What?
Guess what?
What?
Oh, wait, hold on. Where's my book of BK?
What?
Right, okay. I got to give you a reading from the book of BK here. Please open your missiles to page 3. It is written in the book of Burger King. Thanks for driving through Mondays. Every 10th car gets a free Whopper at Burger King Hagåtña and Tumon Bay. Thanks be to Burger King. All right? So there you go. Go drive through Burger King. 10th car. You know what I mean? Go with like 3 of your family and say, okay, we're going to get 9 of your family. You get in, you get a free Whopper. Thank you, Burger King. Also brought to you by Docomo Pacific. It's Cover Me. And this morning, Cover Me, we bring you Mellow James.
My name is Melford James. This is my brother, Brian Munya. I'd like to dedicate this song to our brother, Eddie Bo Wenu. Such a loving and humble soul and a great leader in the Micronesian community, especially to the Micronesian youth. We'd like to give our love and condolences to the family. And rest in love always, brother. Home is where the heart is, my heart's own home. Though I never really had one to call my own. Now I've been given a key by the carpenter of Galilee, with interest paid. The title's made to me. Home where there is no night. Home where the sun's the light. The place I've been dreaming of so long. Loved ones there to welcome me, but his sweet face will be the first I see. When my journey's over, I am going home. Everybody dreams of going home, it seems. Lately I'm no exception to the rule. But home is so much more than windows, walls, and doors. It's a warm embrace where a smiling face is awaiting you. Home where there is no night. Home where the sun is still alive. Place I've been dreaming of so long. Loved ones there to welcome me, but his sweet face will be the first I see. When my journey's over, I am going home. Home where there is no night. Home where the sun's the light. The place 'cause I've been dreaming of so long. Loved ones there to welcome me, but his sweet face will be the first I'll see. When my journey's over, I am going home. When my journey's over, I am going home.
Wow. That was good. Cover Me, brought to you by Burger King and Docomo Pacific. Quick break, and we're back with more of The Link next. Good morning on you.
After a year with so many games and events delayed or unplayed, the world is ready for anything and everything in the world of sports. KUAM Communications is ready with more games, more championships, and more specials that are guaranteed to bring out the fan in you. Don't miss a minute of gameplay from NBC on KUAM TV8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the action and excitement. Brought to you locally by Michelob Ultra, Superior Light Beer, and Docomo Pacific. Just more great reasons to tune in and turn on so you'll fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications. As May is a month to celebrate mothers and everything they do, let's not forget that many parents in our community are struggling to make ends meet and provide for their children with basic necessities. The KUAM Care Force is partnering with the Salvation Army for a very special drive this May, benefiting our precious and most vulnerable in our community. Through Friday, May 28th, we'll be collecting diapers, formula, infant toiletries, baby food, and other new items for infants and toddlers at our KUAM studios in Harmon on weekdays between noon and 4 p.m. Show you care and help families in need this spring. Due to the consideration of our current public health emergency, donations will not be accepted outside of hours specified. Curbside acceptance of donations is acceptable by calling 637-5826 upon arrival.
Steel Athletics has joined the KUAM Care Force as a community partner in the Mama and Nenny's Drive. You may also drop donations to their location in Tamuning on any day of the week. See KUAM.com for designated times.
I decided to get vaccinated because just thinking about all the lives lost from COVID and everyone on island that contracted the illness, I realized that I need to do my part, not just to protect myself, but our community. And I also realized we're still not out of the woods with variants that are out there. I want to be safe, and I want to keep my family safe. I'm Tyler Matinani, and I'm a proud member of the vaccination.
Join the vaccination. Scan and plan. For more information, go to KUAM.com.
Addis Trust and Investment, location, service, trust, is a proud partner of the KUAM Care Force.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
She don't let nobody, she don't let nobody, she don't let nobody but me, nobody but me, love. So other guys want to hold her hand, other guys want a one-night stand. They all creep when she's around. I'm so glad how she puts them down. She don't let nobody. them a rush and a lust, but me liquor gush and I love the mix up. She don't let nobody, no, no. She don't let nobody, no, 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 no. She don't let nobody, 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 nobody but me. Nobody but me, love. So I don't worry 'cause we're so tight. See each other most every night. She'll give me the master key. Why I kiss her explicitly. She don't let nobody, no, no. She don't let nobody, nobody but me. Nobody but me, love. Watch the rider. Them a guy on to root them only one night stand because me and my woman we done make a plan. Boom. All them a rush me they said that them a lust. Me and the gal man and
Dude, I love this. Marianas Collective, Joe Hernandez, Gene, and Freddie Badazzi on this. There's a great live logo Fridays. This is so good, man. Huh? This reminds me of like brunch. Brunch. I know. It's a thing, Bree. Hey, it's 9:51. The Link. Good morning. It's Monday, May 24th. Where does the time go? My God, June. Just right around the corner. The show is brought to you by our friends at Pacific Points. Yep, get your points, get the rewards. Jack in the Box. Where not only do they do the cheddar breakfast biscuits and the cheesy stuffed tater tots, they also do some of the finest milkshakes you'll ever put in your mouth. Good stuff. What's that vanilla one, Bree? Oh, it's the vanilla one. It's good. That's what it is. Also brought to you by Cabo Enterprises, East-West Rental. You got a big project? Well, go in with the right gear. They got a bunch of cool stuff. Maybe you just want to play with some gear. You don't have a project, go check them out. Take some pics, you know. Do it for the gram. I just want to rent one of those bucket. They got the buckets over there, Bree. You know what I mean? Like for the bucket truck.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the kind that you just plant on the ground and then you can go way up. You know, that comes in handy for avocado season and mango season. The genie lift, is that what it's called? Right. You know, let's say you have an uncle who has an avocado tree and it's like you can reach right there, but then up more is, dude, guacamole country. Maybe go rent you one of those, okay? And then let me know and we'll split it. We'll split it and then we'll go hit up the mango tree. 9:52. We're doing a donation drive, Bree. This is like something we haven't done in a minute because of COVID. But we're actually doing one now. So we'll have more info on that. It's for the mamas and the nannies. Right? Sir, you want to go show our box? Right on. We're going to actually go to the Joe Sir Cam, and he's going to go out into the lobby and show our donation box because we're doing a big donation drive. Here we go. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so the Nana's, Mamas and Nenny's Drive, it's to benefit the Salvation Army. And as you all know, and I don't even know if you were covered all of this because I was kind of working on something else.
Right on.
It's being done in May because May obviously is Mother's Day when we celebrate our moms. But during this time, there are also mothers who you know are having a tough time with their families, obviously, and there's a lot of people who are because of the pandemic. And so what the Salvation Army is doing, along with KUM Care Force, is we're trying to do our part and facilitate a way that you can donate and help these families and these mothers out by just donating basic necessities. So up until this Friday, we are collecting diapers, formula, infant toiletries, baby food, whatever you can donate for these families, for these infants, for these toddlers. So we're accepting donations between noon and 4 p.m. Again, this is until this Friday.
Right. And so are there any protocols with the donation drop or anything, Bree?
Yeah, we have a phone number that's on our door. It's 637-5826. You can call us now, actually, if you want.
Yeah,
637-5826 or 635-5852.
Right on. So when you pull up here to the stations at KUAM where the green door, the nice green door, like Bree said, you see the numbers on there, and then you get a hold of us, and we'll come out and get your donation or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you can't make it all the way up here to our Harmon,
right?
We are also partnering with Steel Athletics.
Yes.
They also have a donation box where you can donate any of your products there.
Right. Or if you know any of us, I mean, God, shoot me a message. I'm not, I don't have a problem with going to pick up a good donation if you can't come up here for whatever reason. So there you go. Always great to give back, especially to our, obviously the moms, but with our friends of Salvation Army, they're doing so much. They have done so much, and they continue to do so much to support those in need on this island. And there's definitely a lot of people in need. 9:56 now. The show again. IT&E, East West Rental, Calvo Enterprises, Jack in the Box, and Pacific Points. Good job today, Bree. Some of the takeaways?
That we're still kind of waiting word to see if Guam will actually be this transition point for the thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, Afghan refugees in Afghanistan. So
right, yeah.
So once we hear something, we will of course pass it along because it's 70,000, I think, was the number. So we heard from Carlotta Leon Guerrero about that.
So basically, it's like 17,000
that applied for the program.
Right, but then when you add in each of them having about 3 to 4 family members, that's where it really starts to ramp up. But again, what's interesting about this whole thing is that we've been talking about it since last week, but no one has called the governor on it. So although there's been a lot of media reports, national, international, talking about this Afghan refugee situation, our governor has not been contacted yet. And Carlotta Leon Guerrero, her chief advisor on regional military affairs, did say that they are putting their feelers out to get more info on this. We also talked with GHRA President Mary Rhodes, as they were very integral in the whole housing the Roosevelt sailors. There was a federal-local partnership, obviously. And she says the question remains to be answered about whether or not this whole Afghan refugee thing will be a federal issue or a local government thing, or both. So it's just interesting. As much as we're reading about it in the media reports, there's actually very little officially that we know here on Guam. It's 9:57. Good job today, Bree.
Good job.
Joe, sir, good job.
Thank you, boss.
At Ken Sanity, also great work. Okay, we got another jam-packed show for you guys on the link. Like they say, miss a link, miss a lot. So don't miss a link because you'll miss a lot. My name's Chris.
I'm Sabrina.
Hey, we got your 6 with our primetime news broadcast on this Monday. Viva Lunes! Thanks, guys. Hasta. Adios.
Bye.